For those who toil on the battlefields of the NFL every Sunday, the dream is to someday make the walk down the runway to football's ultimate field of dreams, the Super Bowl.
We're going to win, I'm guaranteed.
Touchdown, 75 yards.
This is as good as it gets. And the great thing about it, it lasts forever, 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 forever.
Today, the dream is reality as grown men become little boys again, living out their fantasy in front of the entire world. The Buffalo Bills, again the AFC's best team, make their second straight Super Bowl appearance, loaded with all sorts of offensive weaponry. The Hogs are the heart and soul of the Washington Redskins, paving the way for football's highest scoring team. It's a dream matchup, the two best teams in football on a day made for dreams. At the Metrodome in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, the Washington Redskins, the Buffalo Bills, Super Bowl number 26. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden, and in spite of all you've heard and read and everything that's been said, these two teams remain to each other at least somewhat of a mystery, and I think that's pretty good, don't you?
I think it's very good. I like the purity of it. You know, that all year you could see this match coming like a collision course. The Buffalo Bills were the best team in the AFC. They had the best record. They were the best all year. The Washington Redskins were the best team in the NFC. And, you know, I kind of like the fact that they didn't play each other, where you can say, well, just a month ago this happened, so I think this is going to happen. They didn't play each other, and, you know, we don't know, the fans don't know, the press doesn't know, the players and coaches don't even know. As Joe Gibbs said yesterday, he said, we could kill them, they could kill us, or it could be a tight one. And Mark Rippon, the quarterback, said, we could beat them by 100 points, or there could be 100 punts.
You know, John, because of that element of mystery, both teams said the same things as we talked to them during the week. We got to get to their quarterback, and we have to control the line of scrimmage. And I guess when you get down to any football game, that's sort of the key.
Well, you know, I think that's a big thing, especially in this game, is controlling that line of scrimmage. It's a kind of game that I love because it's going to be in a line, and the line that wins is going to win this game. And it's not only being able to run the ball. I think they have to control the line of scrimmage so that they can run, and that's going to be the team that wins. And to control the line of scrimmage to protect the passer, because both teams feel they have to knock the quarterback down and they have to be able to run the football.
Well, as you can see, they're just about ready, and so are we. Coming up, Super Bowl number 26. Cold outside, but perfect inside, where the temperature is 70 degrees. It's about 0 out, but you wouldn't know it in here. The crowd's in place. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the champions of the National Football Conference, the Washington Redskins. Now let's meet the starting offense for the Washington Redskins. At wide receiver from Southwest Texas State, number 83, Ricky Sanders. At wide receiver from James Madison, number 84, Gary Clark. At left tackle from Ohio State, number 79, Jim Lachey. At left guard from Tennessee, number 63, Raleigh McKenzie. At center from Clemson, number 53, Jeff Bostic. At right guard from Idaho, number 69, Mark Schlereth. At right tackle from Louisville, number 66, Joe Jacoby. At tight end from San Diego State, number 85, Don Warren. At wide receiver from Syracuse, number 81, Art Monk. At quarterback from Washington State, number 11, Mark Rippon. At running back from East Carolina, number 21, Ernest Biner. And the head coach, coaching in his 4th Super Bowl, Joe Gibbs. Let's now welcome the champions of the American Football Conference, the Buffalo Bills. And now let's meet the starting offense for the Buffalo Bills. At wide receiver from Stanford, number 80, James Lofton. At left tackle from Vanderbilt, number 69, Will Walford. At left guard from North Carolina State, number 51, Jim Richer. At center from Mississippi State, number 67, Kent Hull. At right guard from Arizona, number 74, Glenn Parker. At right tackle from Alabama A&M, number 75, Howard Ballard. At tight end from Jacksonville State, number 84, Keith McKellar. At wide receiver from Touchdown State, number 83, Andre Reed. At quarterback from the University of Miami, number 12, Jim Kelly. Back from Oklahoma State, number 34, Thurman Thomas. And at running back from Louisville, number 35, Carwell Gardner. And the head coach coaching in his second consecutive Super Bowl, Marv Levy. And now, to honor America and in commemoration of the 50th anniversary of World War II, please join Grammy Award winner Harry Connick Jr. in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Now at midfield, Washington captains Jeff Bostic, Monty Coleman, Darrell Green, Stephen Hobbs, Charles Mann, Wilbur Marshall, Art Monk, and Don Warren. And the Buffalo captains, Kent Hull, Mark Kelso, Andre Reed, Darrell Talley, and Steve Tasker. The referee for today's game is Jerry Markbright. And joining them to toss the commemorative coin is former Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Chuck Noll.
Gentlemen, Coach Noll will flip the coin. This is the head. This is the tail. Who's going to call it? Number 51 is going to call it. Coach, flip it. Heads is the call. It is heads. The Redskins have won the toss. Hold it. You want the football. Washington won the toss. They're going to receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
Pat Summerall with John Madden. The coin almost got away from Chuck Noll.
I know, and they couldn't find it underneath there, and the Redskins won that. I know that, you know, Joe Gibbs and Richie Pettibone, we were talking to them last night, and they said that in any big game, they would rather kick off. And you can tell that the quarterback, I have never felt in a big game, wants to go in there first. Mark Rippon has to do it now. And it's important that they get off to a good start. And you don't want it to be the first. I think Kelly is in better position. He's over there. He can still warm up, let the game get started, let the game go in the flow, and go in after the other team had the ball.
One thing Marv Levy said to us yesterday about Jim Kelly, when he was talking about his strong points. He's big, yes. Strong, yes. Not the most mobile, but certainly the most confident quarterback in the NFL.
And, you know, and James Lofton said the thing about Jim Kelly is he said he calls his own plays, so he has to do all that thinking. And he said one thing, a quarterback can do that, but he has to have big shoulders. And he says Jim Kelly has very big shoulders.
The Bills are 7-1 when they have lost the toss. Ricky Irvins and Brian Mitchell will be back to accept the Buffalo kickoff.
You know, the other reason you like to kick off is you like to get your wild guys in there. And the wildest guys on any football team are the kickoff coverage guys.
Led by Steve Tasker, who has been legendary for his work on the special teams for Buffalo. Out of the end zone, Irvins will handle it out of the end zone. If that's any sort of a judgment element, the Bills are off to a good start. Mark Rippon opens at quarterback for the Redskins. There was some talk about him spraining an ankle, but he says he's fine. In front of him, Lachey, McKenzie, Bostic, Slareth, Jacoby, and the tight end is Don Warren. Biner will be the lone setback. Sanders, Clark, and Monk scheduled to start at wide receiver. And now they're going to bring it back as the flag went down on the opening kickoff.
I think it's going to be against the Buffalo Bills. I think someone jumped off sides. In a big game, you get a little excited. You tend to do that. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty. And they'll kick off from the 30-yard line.
Jerry Markbright, the referee. He wants the teams back and the audience back.
Yeah, I wonder if they didn't blow the whistle.
I didn't see any flag, did you?
No, maybe it wasn't ready because they have to blow the whistle before the kicker can kick off. And I think what happened, I think they weren't ready to play, and the Buffalo Bills kicked off. So there won't be any penalty. They'll just kick it again from the 35.
They were ready to play, but too soon. Joe Gibbs, again, as you pointed out a minute ago, both Gibbs and his defensive coordinator, Richie Pettibone, said, we don't want this.
The kicker misunderstood the referee's signal.
Well, we fumbled the coin first, and now the kicker misunderstood the referee's signal.
I'll tell you, for a misunderstanding of a signal, he sure kicked the heck out of the ball. Maybe you ought to misunderstand at every kick.
Maybe so.
He floated that thing. He almost put it through the uprights. That's
Way
a
back out of the end
kicker.
zone. Yeah.
Now they're still waiting. The referee is Jerry Markbright. He's standing on the 20-yard line, and he hasn't given a signal yet. See, there's Jerry Markbright there. And he's waiting for something to start this game, and he's not going to start it until someone tells him to start it or until he's ready.
That was Terry Hogue standing back with Jerry Markbright, just activated. He's been on the injured reserve list. Now, perhaps we're ready. Well, maybe not.
Do you hear what he said, Pat?
Murphy's Law.
This is Murphy's Law.
The only problem is Murphy's not on either team.
If it can, it did, it would. Only in the Super Bowl.
This one's not as good. If it bounces right, it'll be handled, but it didn't. And they'll down it in the end zone. Ricky Irvins and the Redskins will take over at their own 20. Here is the Buffalo defensive unit that'll be looking at Mark Rippon, Seals right, and Bruce Smith up front. A fine quartet of linebackers, Bennett, Conlon, Bailey, and Darrell Talley. In the secondary, Jackson Odoms, Kelso, and Dwight Green start at the safety spots. The Redskins out in a hurry. 1st and 10, 2 tight ends. Art Monk is the man on the move, and you'll see this all day. The Redskins always on the move, shifting and motion. Rippon to Viner. Maybe 2. Seals made the stop.
Well, the Redskins start off with a run, and you know any Joe Gibbs team, that's what they want to do. And I think they want to run left, and they want to run at Bruce Smith. But the thing they worry about that, when you run at Bruce Smith, you run away from Cornelius Bennett, who is probably the best pursuit linebacker in football.
He can run you down. 2nd down and 8. Rippon with some sort of an audible. It is loud on the field. Here's Rippon back to throw outside Clark. Maybe 3. Jackson up to make the stop.
And there is a big play right there. I think the thing that the Buffalo Bills want to do is they say that no one knocks down Rippon. You have to watch. The first time he passes, boom, he goes on his back. Now, they completed the pass, but that is a big play for the Buffalo defense.
That was Carlton Bailey, who had the key interception, the only touchdown against Denver 2 weeks ago, who made the hit on Rippon. The Redskins now go with 3 wide receivers, Sanders, Monk, and Clark. Here comes the blitz. Rippon gets rid of it, incomplete. Intended for Monk, behind him just a bit. Jackson on the coverage, and the Redskins will have to punt. Bennett put the heat on Rippon.
That's the exact way the Buffalo Bills wanted to start this game. I think they wanted to kick off. I think they wanted to play defense. I think they wanted to stuff the run. I think they wanted to knock Mark Rippon down. They did every one of those things.
Clifford Hicks back deep for Buffalo. Goodburn will punt for the Redskins. Opening series not successful, and this is not that good a kick. Leave it alone. You can see the Buffalo bench saying, get away from it. And the Bills will start at their own 40. Brandis downed it, a 33-yard punt off the side of Kelly Goodburn's foot. Jim Kelly, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. He's had a hot year. Up in front of him, Wolford, Richard, Hull, Parker, Howard Ballard, the house, Keith McKellar, the tight end. And they will open with 2 tight ends. Thomas, Lofton, Reed, and Beebe. Metzelars and McKellar will start it for the Bills. Straight ahead. It's Tim Davis, not Thurman Thomas. And Davis only got a yard.
Yeah, that was interesting. In the first play, it looked like Thomas was going out there. Then Kenneth Davis just came in, and they only have one back there. That is not Thurman Thomas. That's Kenneth Davis.
And no huddle for the Bills. Kelly, a blown play, but Kelly makes something out of it. Got up to about the 46, a gain of 4, stopped by Wilbur Marshall.
I think Thurman Thomas is coming into the game now. I think Kenneth Davis went to the wrong side. Kelly called the ball to one side. Davis went to the other side, so Kelly had to go to the side that he called it to anyway.
Gonna make it 3rd and 5. And now Thomas is the lone setback. Kelly out of the pocket and down by Jumpy Geathers. He was the first one to arrive. Tim Johnson with the assist. A loss of 10.
We talked about what the teams wanted to do. One of the biggest things, control the line of scrimmage. The defenses wanted to knock the quarterback down. Jumpy Geathers, 97, gets a big push there. Kelly couldn't throw it when he wanted to. Then he had to run, and Jumpy was the guy who made him bring the ball down, and also had a guy who came up with a sack.
Ryan Mitchell back deep for the Redskins. Moore will kick for Buffalo. It's about his own 21. It's a good punt. Fair catch at about the 11. And so the Redskins get their second possession. They'll start from their own 11.
He fought his way to the top. He had it all. Now he's charged with rape. Tomorrow he starts the fight of his life. Complete details on the CBS Evening News.
Number 89, Steve Tasker, is one of the best cover guys on punts in all of football. He's going to be double teamed on every play. That doesn't bother him, but watch how they double team. He gets by him and they hold him all the way down. He gets down there. After that, he ran to the official and said, hey, let's start watching this stuff.
1st and 10 Redskins at their own 11. Terry Orr was the man on the move. Biner's behind him. Rippon rolls left. Monk, 1st down Washington. Odoms knocked him out of bounds.
You know, Pat, I think the Redskins make quicker adjustments than anyone in football. They saw that Rippon got knocked down, so then they started moving him the next series. He rolled out. You see that little move there to Monk. He just rolled left and threw left to Monk on this play. But if he's going to stay in the pocket and get knocked down, their first adjustment is to move him. You see that roll out?
And look at the Redskins. You hear so much about Buffalo's no huddle. The Redskins do not huddle. They're going to take another look at this. I thought he got both feet down.
You know, that Joe Gibbs is one of the best coaches in the league.
On the field. The receiver was ruled forced out of bounds. He would have come down inbounds. After further review, the play stands. 1st down.
See, now, if Art Monk is up in the air, and if he gets hit, and if the hit knocks him out of bounds, then it's okay if his feet would have been inbounds.
And they would have been 1st and 10. Clark split wide to the left this time. That was Orr, the motion man. Here's Rippon. He's got Monk again, another 1st down. An 18-yard pickup stopped by Cornelius Bennett. The Redskins can move it.
Here's what they have to do. We talked about controlling the line of scrimmage. Bruce Smith there, they let him get a little too much penetration. They're going to have to stop that penetration, but at least Rippon was able to get rid of the ball, but that's the 2nd time that he's gotten rid of the ball and he's been knocked down.
1st and 10 Washington. Their own 40. No score, 1st quarter. Super Bowl 26. Warren was the motion man. That's Biner breaks into the Buffalo secondary for about 9 yards. Kelso made the stop, and that's not good news.
Watch this, Pat, on this play. Here's Bruce Smith here, and he comes in here, and then he takes an inside, then he gets hit here. Then that's what creates the hole for him. Watch Bruce Smith See, he's okay there. Now watch, right now where he took that inside was just the play that let Biner get past him.
Second down, about 1.5 yards. Monk and Orr move, and so does Clark. Wide to the right. Biner again gets the carry, and he'll have a Redskin first down in Buffalo territory. Seals tripped him up, but he got 4.
And you can see that that's what they want to do. They want to run at Bruce Smith. And, of course, that's one thing, but that's a pretty good deal, too, because you're running behind Big Jim Lachey, who is probably right now the best all-around tackle in football. Riley McKenzie's your guard over there. You always have a big tight end to help out. And that's a pretty good matchup. I think so far, Lachey is winning that matchup.
First down, Washington, the Buffalo 48. Again, it's Monk. And again, it's Biner hit in the backfield by Cornelius Bennett. A loss of 4. Bruce Smith also there.
I'll tell you, Smith made a big play that time. They were trying to run that counter tray. Now, what they're going to do is pull the guard and tackle this way. Now, Smith gets penetration and knocks these guys off before they can get started. See, they're trying to get the guard and tackle. You see him right now. He penetrated and knocked off Lachey. So Lachey couldn't get out there, and that busted up the whole play.
So the Redskins lose 4. Shane Conlon shaken up on the last play, and he might come out.
CBS Sports coverage of Super Bowl 26 is sponsored by Pepsi. Gotta have it. The people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
Shane Conlon has departed. His position in the Buffalo defensive lineup taken by Ray Bentley. Second down and about 14. Sanders, the man in motion, ripping back to throw it. And has a man open. Clark incomplete. A little behind him. He would have had a first down.
I think you can see that Rippon's starting to feel a little more comfortable now. They're working on Shane Conlon's knee over there. He had injured that same knee in 1989. And, you know, that has to be disheartening. You come and you get to the Super Bowl and, you know, the second series of the game, you have to go out and you just hope you can get back in, especially a guy like Shane Conlon, who, you know, has so much spirit in this thing.
And has had such a great year. 3rd and 14. The Bills jump around on defense. Warren was the man in motion, and they come with a blitz. Rippin to Monk, complete first down Redskins. James Williams was the Buffalo defender. 19 they got. They needed 14.
Hey, you see Art Monk, this is going to be the 3rd pass that he catches. Here's an amazing guy. I mean, he's big, he's strong, he's quick, he just knows how to play the game. He uses his hands, his feet, just catches anything. 12 years in the game, and the guy hasn't slowed up. He just every time he plays, he just amazes you.
You know, he told us he thought he had slowed up, but nobody else thinks so.
You talk to a defensive back that has to cover him, and he'll say he won't.
Orr was the man in motion. Rippin again gets it to Monk, and Monk breaks the tackle. Monk to the end zone, out of bounds inside the 5. Knocked out by Kelso. 31-yard gain.
And we talk about all the things that Monk does well. We're going to see one of them here, the run after the catch. You know, he's so big and so strong for a wide receiver. He thinks, 1, get open, 2, catch a ball, and after that, he just switches him up like it's a fly or something, and then get the ball in the end zone.
There was Jackson. He swatted away after he caught it. 1st and goal. Redskins at the 2.
You know, Monk is a 6'3" wide receiver. He's 210 pounds, so he's not one of those little guys.
Riggs is now in the backfield, which they have done so often, behind Terry Orr. Riggs maybe to the 1, stopped by Bennett.
I tell you, the drive is going to end here either with a touchdown or a field goal attempt, but you have to give Art Monk a big play for it. 4 of those catches, 79 yards, were from Art Monk. Let's look at this from the blimp here. Here's what the goal line looks. Heavy jumbo, 4 tight ends in there. Again, you want to control the line of scrimmage here. They don't get the linebackers blocked.
Again, it's Riggs, the deep back behind Johnny Warren. That's Riggs. Not in. Hit by Lodish. No gain.
There's Don Bro on Joe Gibbs' right, trying to come up with a play. This becomes a long yardage here, and this almost becomes a passing situation. So they're going to go from heavy jumbo, where they had their 3 tight ends in, back to their 3 wide receiver offense, because even though they're still on the goal line, it's now a 3rd down and passing situation goal line.
And it's Biner as well as the posse. Monk, Sanders, and Clark. Biner is the runner. Rip and roll right. Touchdown, Redskins. Art Monk. From Ripon.
That was an Art Monk drive. 5 catches for Art Monk, 81 yards. That's a one-man game. Of course, someone has to throw it, and someone has to block for the guy that throws it.
Give Ripon an assist.
Well, you see what they did? They started moving. The first series, they were dropped back. After that, they see that they were going to get some rush up the middle, so Ripon started to move the pocket. And then also, he started to look to Art Monk every time. Again, on this drive, 5 catches by number 81.
Lohmiller with Rutledge holding will try for the extra point to make it 7-0 Redskins. Here's the touchdown again, John.
You know, that's what we're talking about, that the guy can not only get open and catch or run after the catch, but at 6'3", he can get up over any defensive back. I think they're looking now, did that second foot get in? See, that foot, that right foot is right on the line. So they're going to look at this, and they may say this isn't a touchdown.
Could be.
He catches a ball. He's going to come down there with 1 foot, and he's okay. And I think it's that second foot that doesn't get in. That right foot right there steps on the line.
Touchdown, I think. Well, we'll still have to wait and see till they review again.
Well, we saw
have a reversal.
A reversing.
4th down on the 2.5-yard line.
Yeah, his right foot was out. See, the left foot's in.
He gets a little nudge right there.
Well, the only thing they could have said if Jackson pushed him out. But that doesn't go if his feet aren't in the air. See, that's when both feet are in the air and you push him out. If the feet are on the ground and you push him out, then that doesn't count.
So it's still a scoreless game. Lohmiller now, instead of the extra point, for the field goal from 19 yards away. And a fumble, Rutledge does, and Buffalo comes away. Cornelius Bennett hit Rutledge. And the Redskins, after a very impressive drive, get no points. Remember that.
Mark Ripon does have confidence, though, but I think the Buffalo Bills are going to have confidence, too. That ball was a good snap. It just went right through Rutledge's hands.
You're exactly right. It's still 0-0.
Coverage of Super Bowl 26.
Remarkable live shot of the Ice Palace in Harriet Island over in St. Paul, what, 12 minutes away from the dome, and that is some remarkable structure.
Yeah, we went by there yesterday. In fact, it's just across the street from the hotel where the Buffalo Bills stayed.
Kelly back to throw it. Up the middle, incomplete, and picked off. Edwards. Brad Edwards gives the Redskins the ball back. Andre Reed, the intended receiver.
And I'll tell you again,
back in business.
That Jim Kelly was knocked down. You watch this, part of it is going to be Edwards. The other part of it is going to be the pressure. Charles Mann is number 71. He just goes inside of Ballard right by the running back, and he just hits Kelly just as he throws it. Watch him. Just as he throws the ball, he hits Kelly. I don't think that Kelly ever saw the defense. It gets tipped around. Edwards is just sitting back there in a zone, and he comes up with the interception.
And there comes Wilbur Marshall right behind Mann. The Redskins take over.
That's what Richie Pettibone says. He said every time he goes back to throw, we're going to try and knock him down.
Ricky Irvin's the running back. This is the guy they fear. That's good defense. Kirby Jackson up to make the stop.
That's very good defense. Watch how they string this out. They get penetration up the middle. That makes Irvins come to the outside. Watch Cornelius Bennett, number 97. He plays that superbly. In fact, he was being held on the play. I think the Redskins, if they're going to run, they're going to have more success running to their left.
2nd and 10. No gain by Irvins. He'll get another carry. Here comes the reverse to Sanders. Sanders tripped up at about the 11. Again by Jackson. Got a couple of yards.
Tell you, that was a heck of a play by Jackson, because anytime you get a reverse, you hope that the offside stays at home. And so someone, one, has to stay there and not be fooled, and then two, make the tackle.
Here's the end of it.
See, now this is a good open field tackle. Ricky Sanders has a lot of moves. Jackson didn't go for all of them. Made a perfect tackle.
3rd and 8. Ripping back to throw it. Ball batted up in the air, and the Bills come up with it. Jackson makes the interception. The Redskins twice get close and come away with no points.
2 big plays by Kirby Jackson. The first one was the tackle where he didn't get fooled by the reverse, made a great open field tackle, and then he comes up with a tip ball and interception. Again, we talked about control of the line of scrimmage. We're talking about putting pressure on the quarterbacks. That ball was tipped right there by Cornelius Bennett.
And by Jeff Wright.
And then knocked up in the air.
Right.
And then Kirby Jackson, who had a couple of big plays down in there, comes up with it. I think that's a quarterback. Mark Rippon has to find a lane. He didn't find a lane to throw that one through.
Kelly and the Bills in a hurry. 1st down from their own 10. Kelly. That's Thurman Thomas. Not much there. He got 3 yards before he is stopped by Andre Collins.
Yeah, if we watch the tip in the last one, there's Cornelius Bennett. I think it went right through his hands. I think Wright did get it.
Here's Kelly to Andre Reed, a Buffalo 1st down. Stopped by Marshall, but they get some room after a 12-yard gain.
The Redskins are on this no huddle. The Redskins didn't know if they would be able to substitute, but they are substituting.
Thurman Thomas, the ball carrier, stopped by Monty Coleman. He only got a yard.
Yeah, with the no huddle, they have a regular pace and a quick pace. Jim Kelly says they wanted to start with a quick pace. If the ball gets snapped before 25 seconds, that's a quick pace.
Kelly to throw it and gets it outside to Thomas, who looked up the field before the ball got there.
Yeah, both of these offenses look a little tight now in the early going here, especially the Buffalo Bills. The Redskins did have that great drive, and then they had the touchdown, and it was reversed. In fact, that was the first reversal of a touchdown in a Super Bowl game.
3rd down and 8.
See, Kelly is audibilizing now. He tells the right side to play, then the left side to play. Now he's using more of the clock because he had to audibilize.
Back to throw is Kelly. And does the pass caught by Lofton. Buffalo first down. Edwards made the stop. 19-yard gain.
Yeah, I think we have two amazing receivers in this game. Art Monk on one side, 12 years. James Lofton on the other side, 14 years in the league. And these guys still do the things that a pro has to do. They know how to run, they have quickness, get open, catch the ball.
They're in a hurry again. No huddle for Buffalo. Thomas tripped up. Maybe two. Tim Johnson stopped him. And again, the Bills don't go back and get together.
You know, the thing that they would like to do is they would like to go with the pass and have the Redskins honor the pass or respect the pass so much that they can get some lanes for Thurman Thomas to run in.
Reverse coming to Lofton. Lofton fakes a pass. It is stripped up. Ball's loose and out of bounds.
That was some kind of play. He faked the pass, but there was no one downfield to pass to. Andre Reed makes a block. He was just trying to get these defenders off him, you know, like a quarterback will do sometime. And he went out there and he just put that ball up there. But to get to that position, he gets a little block by Andre Reed just before this.
Loss of a yard. Fred Stokes was the guy who made the big play, knocked it out of bounds. Lofton, the last guy with possession.
Yeah,
so it's still Buffalo ball.
Jim Richer was down there trying to get it out of bounds because he knew that if they had it last, and if it gets out of bounds, they get to keep it.
And the clock will start on the ready for play. The ball was fumbled forward and out of bounds.
Watch number 83 there. Wide receivers don't want to do that, but if Andre Reed doesn't block Wilbur Marshall, that plays a 10-yard loss.
Third down, about 11 now. And the heat goes to Kelly, and Kelly comes out of the pocket, and down he goes. Tripped up by Wilbur Marshall.
Again, they're going to put the heat on. I think they learned from the Denver Broncos last week. One way to play against this Buffalo offense is to blitz it. And I think that the Buffalo Bills sent out invitations in the championship game, and I think they're going to keep getting blitzes until it doesn't bother them anymore.
Mitchell back deep. Chris Moore to punt it for Buffalo. Mitchell back for the Redskins at their 10. Another good kick. Out of bounds at about the 19, and the Redskins will take over there with 42 seconds left to play in the first quarter and no score yet.
The Pennsylvania Lottery. Good evening. It's time for the live drawing of the daily number and the Big Four number for Sunday, January 26, 1992. Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Tonight's drawing official is Dave Knowlton, and our witness is Miriam Spieth. First, we'll draw tonight's daily number payout ball. We are drawing from 8 yellow balls and 1 pink ball. The color is yellow. The payout is 500 to 1. Now draw the daily number. 6. 1. 3. Drawings are audited by the CPA firm of Boyer and Ritter. And now bid 4. 7. 1. 8. 3. Here again are tonight's winning numbers from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
He gets so deep, you're not going to get behind him.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score. Buffalo nothing and Washington nothing. Back at the Metrodome in Minneapolis.
You know, watch Mark Kelso on that last play. Here he is, Pat. He's the free safety, and he always gets deeper than the deepest. He can backpedal as fast as most people can run forward. Rippon was trying to throw the ball deep to Gary Clark. That was the coverage he had. That's why he didn't throw it deep, even though he had good protection.
Second down, about 6 for the Redskins. Ripped it. To Biner. Ernest Biner, first down outside the 40. Stopped by Kelso. It's a good thing he was deep.
And he's not a big guy, Kelso isn't, but he's a sure tackler. Again, that left side dominate. Boom, boom, whap, you pick up the thing. Look at that hole there. That's a big hole. And then the Redskins get through that. Now they're going to no huddle. They want to change the tempo themselves. They want to dominate the line of scrimmage, get some running game going, and keep an up-tempo themselves.
Rippon goes in a hurry. Has a lot of time for Sanders. Inside the 20s. Covered by Kelso, but not well enough. A 42-yard pickup by Sanders from Rippon.
And a heck of a throw by Mark Rippon, because Kelso isn't going to let Sanders get deep, but Rippon still threw it to him anyway. Kelso was right there with him all the way. Watch this. Sanders comes in. Boom, they make that play. Tell you, a lot of times a quarterback wouldn't throw that ball. He would key that free safety and say that he's deep, and he wouldn't throw it to him.
And Kelso is still down.
I don't know that right at the end that he may have not gotten kicked when he was down.
Redskin first down at about the 16.
Watch that play. Here's Ricky Sanders. He's going to come boom, run a post right by Kelso here, roll out there, and then he throws back. But watch Sanders here. Kelso starts to come to that left. Sanders comes across his face. Rippon makes a perfect throw. Kelso got hurt when Sanders fell on him. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Kelso's out. Jones is in. This is Biner. Flag on the play.
Well, we're in the second quarter, Pat, and that's the first penalty of the game, I think.
Bentley made the stop. It's going to be against Washington.
Holding. Number 53, offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Bostic.
Yeah, and he's going against Jeff Wright. That's a tough battle. Here he is right there. That's Bostic right there. You see it, he's starting to pull. In fact, it was against Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith started a pinch move. Bostic got his left hand on him and just threw him right to the ground. You can't do that to the guy.
You were right about Kelso. He just had the wind knocked out of him. He's back in the game now.
Yeah, and he sure didn't want Ricky Sanders to get past his face on that post pattern either. That's his job.
Rippon to throw it. Gets it up the middle. This is Biner. Stopped by Darryl Talley, but a gain of 10. They got the penalty back.
Hey, you watch Biner here. He does so many things. We see him run. He made a big block on pass protection earlier on Cornelius Bennett, and now we see him as a pass receiver.
Rippon in a hurry again. Sanders, the intended receiver, just off his fingertips. Jackson, the cover man for the Bills.
Yeah, I think yesterday we could tell that we knew that the Buffalo Bills were going to go no huddle, and the way the Redskins were talking about it, Mark Rippon, Joe Gibbs, and the rest of the coaches, that they were going to give the Buffalo Bills a dose of the no huddle too.
They've had the people open.
Yeah, they did. And I think third down, they don't like to go no huddles. First down, okay. Second down, okay. Third down, like this, you need that good play.
3rd and 10 at the 17. Here comes the blitz again. And Rippon in a hurry, intended for Clark, incomplete. A.J. Johnson just left in the cart to go back to the locker room. And as soon as we know something, we'll tell you.
Joe Gibbs is thinking, what does he have to do? Of course, that touchdown that you lose and they call back hurts you, and then you go to kick a field goal and your holder drops it. And now you get another shot. You know that all those things have to just fit together.
Low Miller from 34 yards away. And the Redskins finally put some points on the board. It's 3-0 Washington with 13:02 left in the first half. 3-0 Redskins. 13:02 left in the first half.
There's number 46 in street clothes with his own jersey, Leonard Smith. He had a freak thing happen to him. He got an infection in his knee. They don't know how he got it, and he couldn't practice or play.
Edwards with Lohmiller's kickoff breaks out of the pack to about the 28. Stopped by Brian Mitchell. 25-yard return. Lohmiller with an assist on the tackle.
Watch that. When you see a guy and he plays at home, Lohmiller played here in college. He's from the University of Minnesota. I find out when kickers play at home, they make tackles.
You would call that a tackle?
Well, that's a tackle. In fact, he's one of the few kickers that lifts weights. I don't know what else he does with it, but he lifts weights. He wants to walk around looking good.
The ball carrier, no gain, maybe a yard. Stopped by Tim Johnson and Andre Collins.
I would think somewhere the Buffalo Bills have to start getting control of this thing. I mean, somewhere their offensive line has to start controlling this Redskin defense. They haven't gotten it.
Again, they go with no huddle. And Kelly back to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. Kelly. Intended for Andre Reed, incomplete.
You know, one of the things that Jim Kelly says, I mean, he even admits himself that he always has to work on calming down, that he gets so pumped up that, you know, he gets so excited he darn near hyperventilates. And I have the feeling that he's playing that way today. Talk about a guy who hyperventilates. We just saw a picture of Matt Millen.
Yeah.
He'll hyperventilate for you.
3rd and long. Kelly has some time and gets the ball upfield and out of bounds. Intended for Edwards, and they'll have to punt again.
And Matt Millen, this has to be a disappointment for him. If they don't run the ball, Matt Millen can't play. But I'll tell you one thing, he can still get fired up.
He doesn't look disappointed, does he?
No, if there's a football game going on, Matt Millen is going to get excited.
Mitchell back deep for the Redskins. Moore will punt it. They've got a return set. Not a very good kick, and the Redskins will take over close to midfield. They lead 3-0. Darryl Talley knocked it out of bounds. A 23-yard punt. Redskin ball.
Back at the Metrodome outside the Redskins dressing room a few moments ago, cornerback A.J. Johnson went into the locker room with a sprained right knee. They're examining it right now. When we know more, we'll let you know more. Pat?
Thank you, Leslie. We weren't sure what exactly happened. They took him off in the golf cart, I guess you'd have to say. Charles Mann and Matt Millen.
Well, Matt Millen, you know, as I said, if you can't suit up and play, you can cheerlead. Then when you're done cheerleading, you get that defense over there on the sideline, you coach them a little.
Redskin first down again. They go with no huddle. A blitz coming from Buffalo. Rippin. Clark. Gary Clark out of bounds at about the 35-yard line of Buffalo. Nate Odom's knocked him out.
Yeah, that's Gary Clark's second one. You have to get him into the ball game. He's a real competitor. He plays this game like a linebacker. You talk about a guy who is a tough guy. He's always looking for someone to catch, someone to block, someone to hit, something to do on every play.
Again, no huddle for Washington. Here comes counter Trey Biner. Inside the Buffalo 30, a gain of 6. Bailey and Talley combined to make the stop on Biner.
And the Redskins are still going with no huddle. Good blocking on that left side. You see Donnie Warren, 85. He makes the block. That was a key block.
How about Jacoby?
Jacoby, he always makes a key block. You know, Donnie Warren is a tight end that is like an extra tackle more than a tight end.
Ripping in a hurry. Come on. First down, Washington. The 21. Odoms again made the stop. 8-yard pickup, and again the Redskins are up at the line with no huddle.
Yeah, it's funny how you watch this game. You can see Rippon getting confidence, feeling cool. And on the other side, you see Kelly. He hasn't gotten his confidence yet, and you get the feeling he's pressing.
Rippon has Monk split wide to the right and Clark to the left. Ricky Sanders in the slot. Again, they blitz Rippon quickly over the head of Monk, and a flag on the play. Back in the backfield, that should be holding, I guess.
Yeah, there's a cool guy. That guy was holding that thing. He just sat there and let it hit it. Yeah, that's going to be rough to the passer.
Yeah. That'll slow him down.
You know, we were talking about Rippon getting confidence. You could see it from up here. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but I think it's Cornelius Bennett. Watch that. He's getting held, and then he just hit him with the elbow right in the face, and that's what they called him on.
We better get Harry Connick Jr. back.
Yeah, but they ought to watch both sides. I mean, poor old Bennett was getting held, and he did that.
First down, Redskins about the 11. Sanders wide right. Biner and Orr behind Rippon. Ernest Biner to about the 10. Maybe a yard, not much more. Stopped by Seals and Smith.
I think the Redskins have done an excellent job of mixture. Not only mixture of run and pass, but mixture of formation. Going from 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 3 wide receivers, right, left. They have really moved the ball around in this first half.
2nd and 9 at the 10. Rippon outside to Biner. Touchdown, Redskins.
Talked about control of the line of scrimmage. The Redskins have it. Control of the line of scrimmage brings confidence, and confidence brings touchdown.
Low Miller for the extra point. No reviews this time. 10-0 Washington. 9:54 left to play in the first half. The Redskins on top by 10. Super Bowl 26. Pat Summerall, John Madden. Chip Low-Miller kicks it off to Edwards. At the 3. Redskins down in a hurry. He gets back to about the 14. Rippon, by the way, is 11 out of 17.
And you can just see that whole thing, a confidence that Rippon had. You could just see the way he was carrying himself. And then the touchdown, and then the momentum change, and then that goes to your kickoff team. And this guy here has had a lot to do with it. Ernest Biner, he has made some good catches, he has made some good blocks, and he's made some good runs.
Here's Kelly back to throw. Incomplete, no flag. Intended for Lofton. Martin Mayhew up to knock it down, and him down.
Yeah, you just get the feeling that Kelly hasn't gotten started. I mean, that one there was just right in there. Maybe the most underrated player on the Redskin defense is Martin Mayhew. He has become a good corner.
Kelly back to throw again, going deep. It's going to be picked off. Darrell Green makes the interception.
Hey, the Redskins have them on the run now. They got their offense going. They got their defense going. They got their coverage going. You throw too many passes on Darrell Green, and he is going to come up with some of them. You see the pressure right there? That made Kelly throw the ball. He looked like he tried to throw it too hard, and it just took off on him. And that ball just kind of floated in the air. And Darrell Green, the fastest defensive back in football, he can catch up with any floater.
1st and 10 Redskins at their own 45. They lead 10-0. Rippon going deep. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Penalty marker down.
There's a shoe down. There's a lot of stuff down, Pat. I think that Mark Rippon got hit so hard he knocked his shoe off.
I think they might have hit him late again.
Illegal contact foul. Number 47, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The penalty was downfield against Kirby Jackson. There was no penalty on Rippon. You can see the guy that's going to hit Rippon. He trips there, and then Bruce Smith hits him. Talley hits him there. The shoe goes off, but the penalty was downfield on number 47, Kirby Jackson.
It's a first down. Redskins close to midfield. They lead 10-0. 9.5 minutes left in the first half. Rippon gives to Irvin. Maybe gets a yard. Seals on the stop.
Yeah, it's funny how momentum and control and all those things go, and the Redskins have it now. And I think they got it when they started, after that first series, they started moving Rippon around to throw.
And they started with no huddle.
And then they started with no huddle, and then they just changed it so much. Buffalo doesn't know what to sit in and defend against.
Second down, they blitz Rippon again, but he gets the ball. Intended for Clark, just a little behind him, and Rippon is down.
Hey, they did more than blitz Rippon. I mean, they looked like there was a runaway trucks hit him. I mean, they come off that corner, and there's two that hit him about the same time. Watch the pressure here. There's Bennett up there on the top, and they just sandwich Rippon.
And Smith also.
Well, Smith is on the inside. Talley is the other guy, so it's Talley and Bennett. They just went boom. Talley and Bennett were the bread. Rippon was the bologna.
Third down and about 9. That's Sanders on the move, and Rippon again. The Bills blitz. That's Gary Clark. And he's on the right track. Clark to about the 15. You're going to blitz. You can live with it, but you can also get killed by it.
And Gary Clark says he loves this artificial turf. He says he's only 4'6". He runs a 40 and 4'6". He said, well, when I step out on that field, he said, I swear I'm going 4'4". He said, I just feel so quick out there. And when he ran this pattern, he looked like a 4'4" guy out there.
Rippon again has the Redskins at the line. No huddle. 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 15. That's Irvin inside the 5 to about the 1. Odoms and Kelso made the stop, but he got 14 yards.
Hey, he came very close. This is a good change of pace. You go from Ernest Biner to Ricky Irvins. Irvins really doesn't play on artificial turf, but you know he is going to be quicker in this game. That's the guy Marv Levy and his staff were worried about, is the running of Ricky Irvins.
1st and goal at the 1. Riggs is the deep back now. The handoff is to Earl Riggs. Washington touchdown.
See Rippon, he was on the goal line. He sprinted all the way to the 50 and over to the sideline. There is one happy, pumped-up quarterback. The Redskins have taken this game over. He signed a 1-year contract. He Never won a big one. He had to get him here. He did that. He knows that he has to win it.
Low Miller's extra point is good at 17-0. Redskins, 5 plays, 55 yards. The big one from Rippon to Clark.
Hey, Rippon has had a heck of a half here. Like I said, the first series they started and they were dropped back. Then they started to move them. Then they started to change formations. They got everything going. Here they go. Heavy jumbo. That's 4 tight ends, 1 running back, and Jerry Riggs pulls it in. Here's what it looks like from the blimp. 4 tight ends, 1 in the backfield. 2 on one side, 1 on the other side, just blowing the Bills off the line of scrimmage. They just collapsed that thing. Riggs got 5 yards in before he was hit.
That's the indoor blimp provided by Main Strike Marketing. You won't see a lot of indoor blimps.
No, I know it. And see what it is it's a tethered blimp. See this here? It's tethered. These lines hold it still, so it stays there. This means nothing. That's the camera. That's the thing that you take the pictures with. So they have to have a tethering thing. See, that's a tethered blimp. You shouldn't know words like tether. Then that thing moves by itself. There's no man up there in that blimp. That just moves. When you say move, stop, it does. It does whatever you tell it to do.
You don't fly it, you tether it. Low Miller's kickoff is deep. Edwards 5 yards deep in the end zone. And Neal's right there. The Bills take over at their own 20.
And I think when they take over, if they're going to stay in this game, they better get something going offensively, because the Redskin defense has completely dominated them.
They look a little unsure.
Well, they've only had 2 first downs so far. But if you look at this, they've outscored their opponents 52-0 in the second quarter of the last 2 Super Bowls.
Well, they got Denver for 35. Remember that. Here's Kelly. Quickly to Reed. Up to about the 25. A pickup of 6 hit by Andre Collins.
Well, you know, they've only had 2 first downs. They've only had the ball a little over 6 minutes. And there always seems to be someone knocking down Kelly or someone deflecting the ball when he throws it.
2nd and 4, that's Thomas. And he's knocked down after a gain of a yard by Eric Williams.
There's a guy who will control the line of scrimmage for you, big Eric Williams in there. He's happy. He's in there today. He's playing against Glenn Parker. He said he saw him in a bar the other night. He said it was the first time he's ever seen a guy in street clothes that he was going to play again. Said he scared him to death.
Redskins have changed the defense. The Bills have changed their play. Kelly has it complete to Lofton. And that's the first down. A gain of 8. Edwards made the hit on Lofton.
Yeah, that's what they have to do. They have to establish something now. They have to get that line of scrimmage. They have to get Kelly going, get Kelly in a rhythm, get him flowing. He is not smooth yet.
17-0 Washington. Again, the Bills go in a hurry. Kelly has some time, gets it outside to Andre Reed. Stopped by Marshall. Knocked out of bounds after 8.
Andre Reed is the guy that the Redskins feel they have to stop. They always put Darrell Green on their best receiver, and he is the guy who is on Andre Reed. You watch Wilbur Marshall there, he almost pantsed Andre Reed at the end of that play. You can't do that. You can tackle a guy, but you got to leave his pants on.
You got to leave him clothed. 5:40 left to play in the first half. 17-0 Washington. Here comes that blitz. Thomas hit by Collins. Lucky he held on to the ball. Gobert also close by.
Well, Collins is going to come in and the blitz, and this is a run blitz because it's 2nd down. He's just going to come right up the middle. You see him hit that left side right there? He just hit it, and he hit Thomas before he got to the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 6. Again, the Bills in a hurry. Kelly incomplete. Wilbur Marshall with McKellar. And he almost took his pants off.
I'll tell you, this Redskin defense is just throwing guys around. They're throwing the tight end around on one end. Look, here's Wilbur Marshall throwing McKellar down. Then they're throwing on the other end. They're throwing Kelly down. They have just taken over this game. I mean, this is an aggressive defense. Watch. Boom. Kelly goes down there. Boom. The other end, McKellar's goes down. They just can't keep their feet.
Brian Mitchell is number 30. Moore's kick is a high, good one. Bearcat signal and made it about the 13. 17-0 Redskins with 5:02 left to play in the first half.
Attention field photographers. Attention field photographers.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1992 Winter Olympic Games begins February the 8th with primetime coverage. We'll bring you all the exciting events from day one right up through the closing ceremony. 116 hours of coverage. The 16th Winter Olympic Games beginning February 8th right here on CBS. Biner is the running back for the Redskins now behind Rippon. They lead 17-0. The Redskins do. And that's Biner around the corner. Out of bounds at about the 17.
You know, when the Redskins really changed was a year ago, Thanksgiving Day, when they played against the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. And they had become a passing team. The Cowboys beat them. And after that game, Ernest Biner went in and talked to Joe Gibbs and says, we have to run the ball more, and I want to run the ball more. Joe Gibbs says, I totally agree with you. And since that time, Thanksgiving a year ago, is when the Redskins became the team they are today.
That was Shane Conlon headed for the locker room. That was Ernest Biner, the ball carrier, stopped by Bennett.
Yeah, Shane Conlon, they said, has a torn ligament. And of course won't return.
3rd and 2. Clock running with 4:20 left to play in the first half. Redskins leading 17-0. Super Bowl 26. Clark wide right, Sanders wide left. Now Monk goes out behind Clark. Rippon to throw it. In a hurry and complete. Monk had it. Would have had a first down. But the handle wasn't there.
You know, you're not going to see Art Monk drop many passes. I mean, he's a guy that has a great deal of pride. One of the big competitors in this game. I think a future Hall of Famer.
I think that you certainly have good judgment about the Hall of Famers. And speaking of that, the 4 new inductees we'd like to congratulate. Al Davis, Mackey, John Mackey, Riggins, Lim Barney, Hicks. Redskins down in a hurry, but Hicks tried to get around the corner, knocked out of bounds at the 40. There is a very dear friend of yours and mine.
Right
Al
there,
Davis.
Al Davis. And again, we want to say congratulations to him, elected into the Pro Hall of Fame yesterday, and something that you knew was coming, that, you know, one of the guys that has done so much for me, but so much for pro football. And you knew that his day was coming. You thought it should have come. John Mackey was another one. You knew his day was coming. And we used to do Redskin game. You'd sit there and say John Riggins is a Hall of Famer.
Andre Reed, a one-handed catch for which he paid a big price. Hit by Mayhew. 4 yards.
One thing that Andre Reed prides himself is his run after the catch, RAC, rack as he calls it, but good tackling eliminates racks. And of course, that wasn't much of a throw either.
That'll eliminate a lot of things. Sickness, health. Lofton covered by Mays.
But you know, the Redskin defense is on him on both ends. It's not just that the defensive backs are knocking the receivers around. on one end, they're knocking Kelly around, and on the other end, they're knocking the receivers around.
There comes the blitz after Kelly, who gets it to McKellar. First down, Buffalo. He read that one well. Mays again on the stop.
And Sidney Johnson also. I've never seen the Redskins tackle as well as they have in these last two games, the championship game and the Super Bowl game.
First and 10, Buffalo at the Redskin 48. No blitz this time. Quickly to Lofton. Mays again on the cover. And the clock continues to run. He didn't get out of bounds, a 9-yard gain.
You know, one thing, I like the tempo the Buffalo Bills have now, and they're starting to slow down this rush. Watch Charles Mann here. They double team him. They keep the tight end on him. Ballard, they have him in there. They are starting to slow down that pass rush of the Redskins.
Well, Charles Mann has what he calls his bull rush, which is a very good one. But when you're bull rushing against a guy like Ballard, it's like running into the barn.
You know, Howard Ballard weighs about 340 pounds. He is the biggest non-fat guy that I have ever seen. I mean, you talk about his size, this guy is a tackle.
First down, you saw the indication by Jerry Markbright.
Look at the size of him. I mean, there is a man. He fills out those pants and he fills out that jersey, and he's like, I said, like 340 pounds, but he's not a fat guy. You know, how do you get by this guy?
You don't.
In fact, you know, Glenn Parker was saying when he gets on a scale, the scale says one person at a time, please.
He definitely looks like a guy who shouldn't be wearing sneakers. Here's Kelly. Got someone. McKellar juggled. Lost it, covered by Marshall, and went out of bounds. Incomplete.
You know, Wilbur Marshall's having a heck of a game. You know, a lot of times today we evaluate linebackers by blitzing, but Wilbur Marshall does it all. I mean, he'll blitz and he'll cover guys. I mean, he's downfield there with the tight end. We saw him downfield with a wide receiver. The guy gets a step on him. McKellar has a step on him. Boom, he gets in there, sticks that left hand in and strips the ball.
Second and 10. Kelly. This time under pressure, and down he goes. Jason Buck put Kelly back in Buffalo territory.
Richie Pettibone didn't know if he was going to be able to substitute his defensive lineman, but he's able to. One of these guys that he substitutes is right there, 99, Jason Buck, to get some fresh guys on that rush.
And we get the 2-minute warning. The Redskins 17-0. Third and 21, Buffalo. At Washington 49. 2 minutes remaining first half. The Redskins leading the Bills 17-0.
And you know, one of those things, Thurman Thomas has only carried the ball 6 times for 3 yards. And I think that's a big reason the Buffalo Bills are down 17-0.
Here's Kelly up the middle. Incomplete. And again, no penalty. Lofton knocked down by Johnson. Don't forget to stay with us at the half. Greg and Terry. First half analysis. Winter Magic Spectacular. Dan Fouts will join Terry and Greg. Lori Estefan will be here performing along with Dorothy Hamill and Brian Boitano. Winter Magic at the half. Bills have to punt. Again, a high kick. Down to the 1. Mitchell let it bounce. Tasker was down for the Bills.
Well, they didn't hold Steve Tasker that time. We talk about special teams guys and guys that cover, and that end and coverage on the pass coverage, Steve Tasker's one of the best. He's going against one of the best in Darrell Green. You don't think this is a big game? When they put Darrell Green on the punt return to hold up Steve Tasker, you know 2 things. One, Steve Tasker is a great cover guy, and this is a big game.
Both teams have all three of their timeouts remaining. A minute 46 left to play in the first half. Redskins 17-0.
And I think Buffalo is a team that's going to want to use the timeouts here, stop them and take timeouts.
Griffin straight ahead. And now they call the timeout.
Yeah, I would think so. Buffalo has all three, as you said, and I think that they should use all three right here.
17-0 Washington. Washington, minute 41 left first half.
You want to see what makes Bruce Smith mad when you got a bad knee? Watch right here. Middleton comes down right on that knee, and Bruce Smith is going to have none of that.
Neither is Middleton.
Middleton says, I got a job to do. Bruce Smith says, yeah, but not on my knee.
2nd and 8. Bills showing blitz. Griffin to Biner. Biner close to a safety.
That's what Joe Gibbs was worried about, is Jeff Wright, the nose tackle, number 91. And the way he moved, watch him right there. There's Jeff Wright. He's the nose tackle. He doesn't stay right there. You see how he moves? He moves. He starts to hit a hole. He gets penetration. They almost had the safety. But I'll tell you, that was something by Biner to get that ball out of the end zone. Now, again, Buffalo wants to use another timeout, stop them again, then they'll get another timeout yet at the change of possession.
And they have one left.
Yeah, and then of course Kelly will go to that no huddle, and they'll do a try and get something on there before they go into that locker room at halftime. I think that Marv Levy just has to believe that you know that you're down 17-0, and you'd like to get something right here before you go in. But if you don't get something, you still have to make your team believe, okay, we got another half to go. We can do what they did.
Griffin is going to throw out of the end zone and just threw it away. Terry Orr was the intended receiver. Now they'll have to punt with not much room.
Well, that's the thing. You always want to get out to the 5-yard line because your punter is 15 yards deep. So if you don't get out to the 5, then your punter is going to be short. And then it's easier to go on a punt block. If I were the Buffalo Bills right now, I would come on a punt block because the punter can only be 11 yards deep.
Now, he can't step on the white area. Well, that's an automatic safety. And Kelly Goodburn did some catch checking. Got it out. Not very deep, but he got it out. Hicks trying to get out of bounds. The Redskins are down in a hurry, in good shape. The Bills will take over. 42-yard kick, and that situation a very good one.
And of course, with the change of possession on the punt, that stops the clock automatically. So the fact that the Redskins threw on 3rd down kind of surprised me, because then the Bills didn't have to use the timeout. So now the Bills get the ball, and they still have one timeout left.
1st and 10, Buffalo at the Washington 41. Again, they blitz Kelly. He just does get rid of the ball, but does. To McKellar. And a 1st down, Buffalo, 21-yard gain down at the Redskin 20.
And this is where the no huddle's great, because you're used to it. You do it all the time. Your quarterback has to call the play. Kelly has done that all year.
Back to throw. Got a man. Incomplete. It was Beebe. Incomplete. Edward was late getting there, but Beebe couldn't hang on.
Hey, one thing, I said this before, that this Redskins secondary is hitting and tackling like I haven't seen them in these last 2 games. I mean, Edwards just buries Beebe. That should have been a touchdown.
On 2nd down, Kelly swarmed on by the Redskins. The ball loose at the bottom of the pile, but they got it back.
Hey, again, they got the blitz coming from the outside. The same side as Charles Mann. And now Kelly has to take the timeout.
That's the third sack by the Washington defense. Watch Wilbur Marshall, 58.
Wilbur Marshall just runs right by House Ballard. Wilbur Marshall has been all over this field. And the thing about Wilbur Marshall, when he gets there, he tries to do something that's going to destroy something. I mean, he goes after you. He'll pull your pants down. He'll knock the ball out of your hand. He's going to do something that causes some havoc. Watch him. Here he is right there. And he just comes there. He's too quick for Ballard. He runs right by Ballard. And watch him. He comes in and boom. I mean, he really throws that right arm in there.
The Bills fortunate at that point to get the ball back because he did knock it loose.
Hey, they've done everything to Kelly today. I mean, they've tipped a lot of his passes. They have knocked him down a lot. They've gotten interceptions from him. They have really gone after Jim Kelly in this first half.
3rd and 18. Marshall has 4 tackles, 2 assists, 1 sack, and he defended on that 1 pass to McKellar. 3rd down. They show blitz again, and then they backed out of it. Again, Kelly is hit. No flags. Pass incomplete. Andre Reed, the intended receiver, Brad Edwards. And
Andre Reed better watch it. He did get the flag. You can't do that. I know it's a big game. I know it's an emotional game, but you have to keep things under control. I'm one to talk about that. Oh, he did get it. He has a legitimate gripe. Brad Edwards, a free safety for the Redskins, hit Andre Reed before the ball was there. But I'll tell you one thing, by him throwing his helmet, that's going to knock him out of field goal range.
Oh, pretty close to it.
Unsportsmanlike conduct foul on number 83, offense, slamming his headgear to the ground. 15-yard penalty. It'll be 4th down.
Okay, and that is all taken off or added to the field goal. You can see, I mean, they didn't see it. They didn't call it. He's bumped there before the ball gets there. It is pass interference. The officials didn't call it. Andre Reed was right. But that penalty took 3 points away from the Buffalo Bills.
And so they have to punt. There's the violation.
And look who's right there, number 58. He says that's wrong. In fact, I think he talked the official into it.
Another good kick by Moore. Takes a Redskin bounce. How about this guy downing his own punt? He ran right by it. Again, a reminder coming up at the half, and Fouts will be with Terry Bradshaw and Greg Gumbel. Their first half analysis, and then that Winter Magic Spectacular.
I'll tell you one thing, this Washington team in his first half has really frustrated the Buffalo Bills. They had a score, they get a 15-yard penalty, they're knocked out, then they punt a 10-yard punt. They're throwing their helmets. Their quarterback hasn't gotten in a rhythm. Part of it, I think, is Buffalo. The other part of it, I think, is the Redskin defense is playing outstanding.
16 seconds left to play in the first half, and the Redskins are just going to run it out. Washington leading 17-0. Marv Levy is going out to talk with the field judge. I don't think he's trying to make friends.
Yes, it is your call.
That's the end of the first half with the score. The Washington Redskins 17, the Buffalo Bills nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost time for the Super Bowl 26.
CBS Sports coverage of Super Bowl 26 is sponsored by the people at Budweiser, who remind you to hang in there for the exciting conclusion of Bud Bowl 4. The people at Nike, who encourage you to just do it. And by McDonald's, where what you want is what you get. This is CBS.
As we get set for second half action here in Minneapolis, our halftime score, Washington 17 and Buffalo nothing. Welcome back, everyone. Greg Gumbel, Terry Bradshaw, Dan Fouts here. Total yardage in the first half, Washington 266 to Buffalo 78. You're the Buffalo Bills. Dan, what do you do in the second half?
Well, number one, we're going to get the opening kickoff. Number two, we've got 30 minutes to do something with this game. But if the Bills do not score, get a field goal at least in this opening drive of the second half, they can forget it because the Skins will do the same thing as they did in the first half.
Yeah. You know, Buffalo can't run the ball on first downs. Forget play action on first down and hitting the seam down the middle. That's out the window. Number two, Kelly has got to drop back. He's got to set up, and he has got to throw the ball deep. If he has time to throw the ball deep and completes it, I think he'll win his confidence back in his offensive lineman. I don't think he believes his offensive linemen are going to give him time right now to throw the football. And Washington, great job of mixing it up. He is totally off stride, but I think he has to go deep and go deep right now.
And Thurman Thomas, the AFC MVP of the season, a non-factor so far, 6 carries, just 3 yards in the first half. Right now, Leslie Visser standing by at the Redskins locker room. Leslie.
Greg, the Redskins aren't taking anything for granted. They came up the tunnel yelling, "We haven't won anything yet." Donnie Warren held up a ring and said 30 more minutes to one of these. Cornerback Darrell Green suffered a cramp in his left calf. Trainer Bubba Tyre said they're going to ice it, they're going to massage it, and that he should return the second half. Some of the players were complaining out there that they had difficulty breathing, so time of possession could be key in the second half. And defensive coordinator Larry Peccatello said they are pleased with the defensive pressure on Jim Kelly. And just what Dan Fouts said, the opening drive of the second half is key. They want to stop Buffalo. That's it from here. Let's go over to Pat O'Brien.
All right, Leslie, thank you. As far as the Buffalo Bills are concerned, there are only 2 things wrong with their performance so far. Unfortunately, it's defense and offense. Shane Conlon, who is out with a bad knee, he will not return, was sitting out here watching the game and saying he has never seen this team this season play this poorly, but he said there's still time. Bruce Smith agreed with that conception, but he was shaking his head all the way into the locker room. So they come in here after that last drive with no momentum, no score, no first half highlight, really. And through all this, there is a glimmer of confidence. While Marv Levy was chasing the officials around the field before he came into the locker room, Jim Kelly grabbed his offensive line and he pulled them together and was screaming at him saying, "We have got to win this game." A little meeting outside before he came in here. I asked him, I said, "Jim, are you okay?" And he says, "I am now." So while he might think he's okay now, they're off to a very poor beginning of Super Bowl 26. Let's go back up to the big booth and John and Pat.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. And I think both Greg and Terry and everyone has pretty well touched on what has happened here in the first half. And the question remains, can they keep him off Jim Kelly? Can they give him time?
Well, you know, that's the thing. I think that the Redskins are doing a few things that before the game they didn't know if they could do. They didn't know if they could substitute and get their players in there with the no huddle. They proved that they could do it, and they're batting them around on both ends. I mean, they're putting pressure on Jim Kelly. They're knocking him down. They're tipping his passes. And then on the other end, even when he does get time, when he doesn't make a pass, then they're knocking down the wide receivers and tipping balls and intercepting balls. And the Washington Redskin defense has played as well as I've ever seen it.
But, you know, John, this game could be a lot closer if they had completed that pass, which looked like it could have been caught for a touchdown and make it 17-7 instead of 17-0. I think that would have changed the whole complexion of the whole second half, don't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, Beebe had that one down there, and it was a great play down in the goal line. Then there was pass interference. Andre Reed was right. I mean, he was interfered with, and then when he threw his helmet, they had the field goal. I mean, it was fourth down, but if he doesn't throw his helmet, then at least they get something on the board. And I remember my old quarterback and kicker, George Blanda, used to always tell me when I was a coach, he said, you always want to break the ice. The first score is always the toughest to get. And once you break through and get that one, then it's easy to go on from there.
And, of course, you can't forget that the Redskins were down there twice early and came away with nothing. Once they fumbled a field goal attempt, the other time they were overruled. Second half of Super Bowl 26 coming up. Pat Summerall with John Madden. And the Redskins leading the Buffalo Bills 17-0. Their ability so far to control, this is the Redskins, to control Thurman Thomas and put the pressure on number 12, Jim Kelly, so far has kept the Bills shut out. And they're not that kind of team that you can do that to very often. Marv Levy, as was pointed out before, was very upset with the officials before he went to the locker room for the halftime. You look at the statistics at the half. Redskins have 15 first downs to 6 for Buffalo. But it's the key in their effort to stop Thurman Thomas. The Bills only have 8 yards on the ground.
And I think that's a big key, and that's probably what Marv Levy had to be talking about at halftime. Somehow you have to get control. That if you only run the ball for 8 yards, then like Terry Bradshaw said at halftime, then you can't run on first down because they're stuffing it. You can't go play pass because they're not going to respect the run. So you just have to drop back, and the Redskins can just tee off on you.
Lohmiller, line drive kickoff to Edwards, 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he'll stay there. So the Bills will start from their own 20.
Yeah, this is a big part of it is what they did to Jim Kelly. And if you look at that first half, he was sacked 3 times. He was hurried 7 times. So that kept him out of his rhythm. He was knocked down 4 times. He had 1 batted ball and threw 2 interceptions. So just about every time he went back, something on one end or the other hurt him.
Beebe is split out wide to the right. Thurman Thomas behind Kelly. This time they take a little more time. They're all over Kelly. The pass is intercepted by Kurt Gobert. Gobert out of bounds at about the 2, and the Redskins are in business again.
Again, it was the pressure. It's one of those things, the blitzes. I think that's what Denver did to them. The Buffalo Bills haven't put out that fire yet. They got the pressure up the middle. Kelly threw it, didn't even see the interceptor. Watch the pressure right there, coming straight up the middle. See right there, seeing Kelly gets hit just as he throws it. Andre Collins was unblocked, and he came right in Kelly's face. Now watch him, he put his head in Kelly's chest just as he threw the ball. And then I don't think McKellar saw the ball. Gouveia did, and he came up with the interception that was caused by 55, Andre Collins.
First and goal at just outside the 1. Biner is the deep back, and Rippon didn't like what he had a look at, so he called a timeout. Marv Levy obviously doesn't like what he's seeing. The Redskins shutting out the Bills 17-0.
Let's watch the blitz. Here's Andre Collins. He comes here on the blitz. Here's Gouveia. He gets the interception. Watch the blitz, puts the pressure on him. Good coverage by Gouveia. McKellar doesn't even see the ball. Gouveia does. In 3 weeks, the Buffalo Bills have not solved the blitz.
First and goal, Redskins at the 2. It's Riggs. And he gets the carry, and he has a stand-up Washington touchdown. That's his 2nd of the day.
And we talked to Mark Rippon yesterday. He says there could be 100 points or 100 punts. And the way the Redskins are playing, they're going for 100 points.
They lead 23-0.
Yeah, that's a whole team thing. They came out. They knew that they had to pressure Kelly, pressure him all day. They got the blitz, the interception, and run it in.
Flag on the play. The extra point attempt by Lohmiller.
You know, Andre Collins is an amazing story that he's one of 18 children.
Offside, number 31, defense. The point is good. 12-yard assessed on the kickoff.
So they'll kick off from the 40. The Redskins 24, Buffalo nothing. 2 touchdowns by Riggs.
Hey, this looks almost too easily, doesn't it? As you watch it from the blimp here, this is goal line. So the offense all fires out. Look in unison. They all kind of go to their left. They get the Buffalo Bills going back. And look at this hole that they create right there. That is what you call a hole.
Riggs was ready to get hit, but there was no one to dance with.
Nope, this is their heavy jumbo. The offensive line all going to their left, picking up all the slants, getting them moving the way they want, and then Riggs just cutting back just a little in the hole that was created by the movement.
By Slereth. He got the key block.
That's about as much as Joe Gibbs will give you as far as reaction in the third quarter. He'll give you more than that in the fourth at the end of the game, but not in the third.
Lohmiller drives it out of the end zone. Edwards just has it sail over his head. Frustrating day for the Bills and particularly for Jim Kelly.
Well, this Washington Redskin defense has done an outstanding job on both ends, rushing Kelly and covering. And this guy right here, Richie Pettibone, is a master. I mean, he is a master at defense. He is a master at mixture. He is a master at playing poker, I would bet, because he has played every hand the right way today.
Window dressing, they call it.
And he's given them a lot of window dressing, and they don't know where they're coming from.
Kelly back in the shotgun. Nothing there. Still nothing. Finally there to Thomas. Gouveia, who just made the interception, stopped Thomas.
But, you know, here we'll look and see what he has to look at. Good pass protection. Watch the pass protection. He has time. But here's what he's looking at. See, he should be looking right here. I think he's looking here, and he sees coverage here. He could go here. He just didn't see his guys.
Back in a hurry. Across the middle to Reed. 4-yard gain. Gouveia again on the stop. A first down, Buffalo.
Been a while.
First and 10 Buffalo at their own 32, and Kelly will have to throw it on every down. It's incomplete, and no flag. Intended for Reed across the middle.
These guys on the Buffalo sideline are looking for a pass interference because there's been a couple of close ones.
Very.
In this game, I think the officials have kind of loosened up. I think any Super Bowl championship game, they tend to call fewer penalties than they do in regular season.
Second and 10. Bills at their own 32. Washington leading 24-0. Kelly under pressure again. The pass is incomplete, intended for Lofton. Mayhew, the defender.
You know, I don't think Kelly has ever gotten into a rhythm. I think he's been a little too tight all day, and he's never been able to kind of calm it down where he can get a touch. I mean, all his balls are floating on him and sailing and going high and doing all those things.
Third and 10. Lofton. First down at the 45. Mayhew and Edwards up to make the stop. They got 14, and they move the sticks.
And he threw that one in there. One thing, after the Redskins got that touchdown with that blitz, now they're playing a little softer defense, and Kelly's pass protection is starting to get control here.
Again, they go in a hurry. And Kelly. Pass is incomplete. Incomplete. Edwards nailed Lofton.
I have never seen Brad Edwards hit like he is hit today. Remember Brad Edwards? He was a quarterback in college. Played for the Minnesota Vikings, and today he is a safety possessed. Watch this. Lofton catches that. Watch 27. Whap!
That's what they call whiplash. Kelly has to come out of the pocket. Almost over the line of scrimmage. He's got a man deep. And he gets it to Don Beebe. Edwards at the 11.
And Don Beebe's a guy you have to stay with because you talk about the Thurman Thomases and Lofton Reed. The fastest guy on this Buffalo team is Don Beebe. And just a little scramble there, he's going to get in behind you. And if you take your eye off something, he'll get behind you. Edwards made a big hit. The next play, Beebe gets behind him.
Kelly again, no huddle. First and 10 at the Redskin 11. Outside Thomas. Down goes the official. Andre Collins knocked him out of bounds at about the 4.
Did you hear Thurman Thomas? He said something about they can't hold me. He was complaining. He caught the ball. It doesn't look like anyone was there close enough to hold him.
2nd and 2. Kelly. Incomplete. Beebe, the intended receiver. Covered by Johnson.
You know, the Denver Broncos did the same thing to the Buffalo Bill receivers in the championship game. Downfield, anytime there was a ball in the air, they really whacked them and cracked them. And I think the Redskins watched that film or watched that tape, and they're doing the same thing to the Bill receivers today.
3rd and 2. 12:05 left, 3rd quarter. Redskins up 24-0. In the direction of Lofton, but a misread or miscommunication or something.
Kelly doesn't want to go for the field goal. He's saying no, but I think when you don't have any points, like I just said at halftime, I think you got to get that first one in there. You have to get a building block.
They're down 24-0, and Marv Levy has decided that he agrees with John Madden. Let's go for the field goal. Norwood. Frank Wright holding. Norwood's field goal is good from 21 yards out, and it's 24-3 as the Bills finally are on the board. On the left of your picture, Jack Kemp, and next to him, John Mackey. Really one of the outstanding tight ends, only the second one to get into the Hall of Fame.
We talked earlier about Al Davis being in the Hall of Fame now, elected yesterday into the Hall of Fame, and having deserved it for a long time. John Mackey is another guy that was elected into the Hall of Fame yesterday, and he's deserved it for a long time. So there's two guys, Al Davis and John Mackey, that are here at today's game that are very, very happy.
Mackey was one of those guys you almost couldn't get off his feet. You might get him out of bounds, but you couldn't tackle him.
Yeah, I think when you think of tight ends or the guys that made tight end a position or a famous position, it had to be John Mackey.
Or Mike Ditka.
Well, now they're both in the Hall of Fame, so that argument's over.
That's Biner, left side for about 4, stopped by Seals.
Hey, you know, we talked about control of the line of scrimmage, and we still have it here. Watch Lachey there on Bruce Smith. You see, he gets into him, then just stay with him. Just keep those feet going. Move, 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 move. That's what you always tell you. Get into him. Don't worry about position. Then drive the feet. Jim Lachey has always been a great man blocker.
2nd and 6. Look at the rushing difference. Biner is the lone back. And he's got a gain of 6 and very close to a first down before he's stopped by Cornelius Bennett. This is their kind of game now.
Well, it is, because they got that balance going. I mean, you know, if you look, they've run the ball 23 times and they've passed it 21 times. So they got that balance. They've gone right, they've gone left. They've gone 2 tight ends, they've gone 3 wide receivers. They've mixed plays and they've mixed formations.
And they have another first down. Garner up to make the stop. Maybe he got a yard, perhaps no gain.
Well, they put Hal Garner at the left linebacker, and then they took Cornelius Bennett and put him inside. I think what they were trying to do is stop that inside run with Bennett. You see, Bennett is inside. He's right there, and then Garner's to the outside. So they handle the inside all right, then Garner takes care of the outside.
2nd and 10. about 9, stopped by Talley and Kelso.
You know, we talked to Art Monk and asked him, how do you play at this level for so long, 12 years in the National Football League, always one of the top receivers? He just says he never gets out of shape. And the older you get, the harder you work.
He's not only a class receiver, he's a class guy. Rippon. Viner cut down in the backfield by Talley. A loss of 3.
Darryl Talley is the leader. The 2 leaders of this Buffalo defense are Mark Kelso and Darryl Talley. Talley here, you see him, he just takes on the block. He takes it on with his head, sticks his head right in there, takes the absorption, and boom, he's right off it and makes a tackle.
Kelly Goodburn back to punt. Clifford Hicks deep for Buffalo. Not his best effort. Hicks batted it out of bounds. Monty Coleman was down in a hurry. 8:17 left, third quarter. 24-3 Washington. Super Bowl 26. Pat Summerall and John Madden. We're in Minneapolis. 24-3. The Redskins lead Buffalo.
You know, and it's something here when you get into third quarter, you know that you only have a quarter and a half to be the world champion or to be thrown back into the heat with the rest of them. And the finality is the thing that makes this game so great.
Kelly gets it out to Lofton. First down, Buffalo, 11-yard pickup. Johnson on the coverage. The Redskins blitzed him again, but he got it out in time.
And I think the thing that Kelly and the Buffalo offense, they don't want to feel that urgency yet where they have to press. You know, that if they just play their game and get into a rhythm, they can still do it. But you don't want to press and do stupid things.
Kelly gets it to Beebe. Beebe gets to the Redskin 36, a gain of 9. Tim Johnson and Sidney Johnson.
Hey, you talk about guys playing, Don Beebe being one of the real tough guys. Marv Levy says he's fearless. He's playing with a rod in his leg. He has a pin in his leg that they're going to leave in there until he's done playing.
Darrell Green is not playing in that Redskins secondary.
You know, I have the feeling after the Redskin defense got that interception that they've gone a little soft, that they're playing a little softer defense. Of course, that doesn't have anything to do with Darrell Green not being in there. That doesn't help them. But they're not up there going after him like they were.
First and 10, Buffalo. Kelly with time. Going deep. He's got Lofton. Flag on the play. Lofton was open. Mayhew got back and collided with Lofton.
The 2 officials are talking down there, Pat, whether it's offense or defensive pass interference. Mayhew was arguing for offensive pass interference.
Again, Jerry Markbright, the referee.
Pass interference. Number 25, defense. Automatic first down.
Against Mayhew.
It's number 35 he's talking about. Mayhew, see, takes the inside position. He was waiting for Lofton to run a post, and Lofton just ran right by him. Now, that looked like Mayhew was going for the ball. He jumped up and was looking for the ball.
Thomas is the lone setback. He gets the carry and doesn't quite make it. Stopped by Mann, about a foot short.
Watch what they do. We'll watch it from overhead. They bring their tight end, 84, Keith McKellar. You see him? He comes in motion, and he leads, and he pours a trap. So a lot of times, you know, you used to trap with your guards and sometimes your tackles. On that goal line play, it was a tight end, Keith McKellar, doing the trapping.
About a foot short. It'll be 2nd and goal, Buffalo, and they're about to get back into the contest. And Davis and Gardner, the 2 running backs. That's Davis. No sign yet. Kelly indicates they're still about a foot short.
I always think the quarterback ought to argue that it's a touchdown, but he came up and said it was short. We'll watch it from overhead here. Watch, I get a pretty good push. It looked like had he come in here a little more to his left, he would have gotten a touchdown. If he just go a little more that way, he would have gotten in there.
Bert Gouveia was the defensive leader, 3rd and goal. Thomas is back, and Thomas gets the touchdown. Richie Pettibone, who runs the defense for Washington. Watching him now being taken apart just a little bit.
He didn't want that drive. It looks like his defense is starting to get a little tired. The Buffalo offense wanted to be up-tempo and play quick, and they're doing it now.
Norwood for the extra point. And so the Bills come closer. 5:58 left in the 3rd quarter. Washington leads it 24-10.
Watch this block by Carwell Gardner. He's here. He is going to block Andre Collins there. Now that is the way you block on the goal line to make touchdowns.
That'll get it done. Taluiso's kickoff goes to Brian Mitchell at the 5. And Mitchell is knocked down just outside the 20 by Patton.
Let's watch it tight here, Pat. Gardner may have the best block so far of the game. Watch it right there. That will clean out your sinuses.
Certainly make it change directions, won't it?
You won't have to blow your nose. It cleans out your sinuses.
It's Monty Coleman.
A very important guy to this Redskin defense. Monty Coleman is the nickel linebacker.
They've already lost Darrell Green, at least on that last series.
I think it's a lot hotter down there in the field than you imagine. They talk about 72 degrees and climate control, but these guys look like they're starting to get tired, and it is hot down there.
Ricky Irvin's in the game. Clark from Ripon out of bounds, knocked out by Odom. 6-yard gain.
That's not a good sight there when they're helping Monty Coleman like that. Because we talked about how Richie Pettibone likes to change guys, and especially linebackers, and this is one of the main guys that he works with.
2nd and 4, Redskins. Ripon had enough of that running attack. Ball straight up, caught by Clark out of the middle of the pack and then dropped. Incomplete. Ripon was hit by Bennett.
I tell you, Cornelius Bennett was hanging on him, and you wonder how he got anything. I mean, how he got rid of that ball. Bennett comes straight up the middle, takes on one blocker, takes on another blocker. They let him go, and he hits Ripon just as he throws the ball. I would think if 97 lines up in the middle, I think I'd really stay with him. I don't think I'd let him go.
Bruce Smith nailed Clark. 3rd and 4. Just a 3-man rush. Clark makes the first down for the Redskins from Ripon.
Yeah, I tell you, Ripon proved that he's a big league quarterback. The momentum was starting to change. The crowd was into the game. And I think the other important thing is, you notice who he went to, Gary Clark. And the other important thing is, the Redskins again are going no huddle. There is a football player.
We're going to find out, I guess, at this pace, who's tired. Both of them in no huddle. That's Irvin. Stopped by Seals, but a gain of about 6.
I'll tell you what, I bet if they had a sweat contest, I bet Joe Jacoby would lead it. I mean, I watch him in practice, and he just sweats through anything that he has on there. And I'll bet you that right now that he has more sweat than any player that's playing out there.
Well, that's a pretty big load to carry around.
Yeah. There's a lot of pores for sweat to come out of.
6'7" and 320. Ripping to throw it. That's Clark. Dances away from one, dances away from another. Gary Clark, another Redskin first down at about the 44-yard line. Darrell Tatley finally knocked him down.
Look at Clark. He's getting all excited. And then what he does is he takes that energy and gives it to the other guy. They put Bruce Smith in the middle now. They're trying to get him. Schlereth gets him on one side. Bostic gets him on the other side. And they stop that quick move. They nail him right there. Mark Schlereth has been a very impressive and important guy in this Redskin offense. In fact, he's going to Pro Bowl this year.
He should. That's Irvin. To about the 35. He got 8. Drain and Bailey.
Yeah, right here is like a great fight. You know, one guy has momentum, then the other guy gets it. Now the Redskins took it back. You know, the Redskins had it, the Buffalo Bills got it, and now the Redskins are just getting it back right now, and they're doing it with no huddle, too. Remember I said Gary Clark is a football player? He not only, you know, catches it and gets open, but he'll also block.
This is Irvin on second down. Close to a first with that last spin. Bruce Smith on the stop.
You know, Joe Gibbs calls this no huddle, and he does it. He makes a circle with his hand and then a finger straight down with the other hand. It means quick. And then any time that he wants him to huddle up, he doesn't. And when he wants him to go no huddle, he just gives him the Q sign.
Third and short, Russ Grimm comes in as the tight end on the left side. That's probably where they will go. Riggs is the deep back, 3rd and 1. Riggs, first down, Washington. Bailey tripped him up. Riggs got 3 yards in the first.
Well, the tight ends did their work. They go anytime they get in a short yardage, they not only put Riggs in, but they put the 4 tight ends in they call heavy jumbo. Of course, Russ Grimm becomes one of those tight ends, along with Warren, Middleton, and Terry Orr. There they are. They did their work. Now they go off and stand on the sideline for a while.
First down, Redskins at the Buffalo 31. Washington leading 24-10, and Rippon back to throw. The blitz comes. Rippon underthrows Sanders.
You know, these tight ends of the Redskins are like expert tackles. In fact, you see Middleton running in there. He looks like a tackle, and then he lines up as a wide receiver. On the last play, they had a big tight end out there, and no one covered him. Now you see, here's Middleton out here, and he is covered.
He goes about 270, a wide receiver. Rippon, incomplete. Intended for Clark, and behind him.
Yeah, we talked about how the Redskins mix up their packages. Here's the different packages and how they've used them. Regular, that's 2 tight ends and 2 receivers. They've been in that 20 times. 3 wide receivers 28 times. That's 1 tight end. 4 wide receivers. They haven't done that today. Heavy, which is 3 tight ends, 3, and heavy jumbo, which is 4 tight ends, 6 times. So they really mixed up their package as well.
And this time they huddle. 3rd and 10. Finer is replaced by Irvins, and he's a lone running back. Rippon is back to throw it. Going deep. Touchdown, Redskins. Clark. From 30 yards away, it's Rippon.
what a champion does, Pat. One team starts to take it away from you, you go back and get it.
Clark has 7 catches for 114 yards and the touchdown. Lohmiller was about to try the extra point with Rutledge holding. Buffalo jumped.
I wonder what Gary Clark's doing now. I don't think he's getting ready for that old bucket trick.
On the kickoff.
So they'll kick off. Lohmiller will when he does after the extra point.
Tell you one thing, you're not going to get that ball away from Clark.
No. 31-10, Washington. A minute 24 left to play in the third quarter, John.
Yeah, the pass protection has been there. Mark Rippon is throwing perfect passes. I think he's the best at this, the best deep toucher is. And when you have a guy like Gary Clark and you need a big play, you always look for him.
He does know where to look. Great smile, too. Edwards stays in the end zone as Lohmiller kicked off from the 40 after the violation on the extra point.
Yeah, you never know a key to a game, but I think the key early was the defense of the Redskins. I think Mark Rippon has been outstanding today, and it may go down at that drive that we just saw the Redskins make could have been the icing on the cake. That could have been the drive that won the game for them.
Both teams, you're right, that observation you made a minute ago, both teams are starting to look a little bit tired.
Yeah, I think it's not only warm down there, but I think it gets stuffy.
Here comes the blitz. Kelly outside Lofton. Sidney Johnson knocked Lofton out of bounds.
You know, when you talk about touch, and I think Rippon on the deep ball, I've always said, has the best touch of any quarterback in the game. I tell you, you look at this one, and there's not a prettier pass in this site right here.
Here's Kelly, has it knocked back to him, and down he goes. He caught his own pass and paid the price. Knocked down by Stokes. A loss of 8. Second and 18. The Bills operating from their own 22 with less than a minute left, third quarter. Here comes the blitz again. Kelly. His arm was moving forward, but they say it was not. It's a fumble. Kelly is down. He's hurt. And the Redskins have the football.
Yeah, that was a numbers thing. Alvoid Mays came on a blitz. Again, they've been having trouble with that blitz. They can really only keep 5 blockers in there. Watch number 20 come off the corner up there in the top of the screen. They can block everyone else, but they don't have enough guys in there. Alvoid Mays, 20, hit Kelly's arm just as he threw the ball.
And Stokes made the recovery.
Watch, Mays comes right in there, and he got his arm right at the elbow just as Kelly was starting to throw.
First down, Redskins at the Buffalo 15.
Again, I think Richie Pettibone got away from the blitzing, got away from the pressure. The Bills went down and scored. He said, a heck of that. Enough of that stuff.
A fumble on the field. It's being reviewed by instant replay.
It is being reviewed. It was ruled a fumble on the field. His arm could have been in motion.
Yeah, that's what they could be looking at here. Cal Lepore is the instant replay. Guy's right behind that monitor. Is it a fumble or an incomplete pass? If his arm is going forward, then it's an incomplete pass. If the ball is knocked out before his arm goes forward, then it's a fumble. I think that's a fumble. You see, his arm, the ball was up there, it was hit, the ball went out.
Mays off the corner.
The play stands.
First down, Redskins. 4th sack of Jim Kelly. 1st and 10, the ball at the Buffalo 14. Rippon has Biner behind him. Counter Trey. Biner. Flag on the play. Biner to the 5, but a penalty marker down. Kelso made the stop. Against Washington, the information we have from the Buffalo bench is that Jim Kelly, although it appeared a moment ago that he was injured, is okay. So he should be able to come back.
Holding number 63, offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Called against McKenzie.
Yeah, that's Raleigh McKenzie. He was pulling on that counter Trey. See him right there, 63. That's on the pull. He makes the block there. Then he must have had his arm up around the neck. He sure did. He had his left arm in there pretty good, and that was a good block. Left arm, left shoulder,
no
right
takedown.
arm around the neck.
Yeah. That got it all.
First, Kelly's all right. He's still shaking that arm out, though.
1st and 20 at the 24 now. That's Sanders on the move. Rippon back to throw it. Trying to set up a screen, incomplete. Rippon was under pressure. Cornelius Bennett again.
Well, he had his guy there. Ernest Biner was in that group, but I think the guy he saw was Jacoby, number 66. He looked like he threw it to Jacoby.
That's Stan Humphries.
Joe Gibbs calls the plays. Stan Humphries signals them in. Joe Gibbs is one of those coaches that is really his own offensive coordinator.
2nd down, and Rippon back to throw. Monk at about the 7. Stopped by Bailey, 17-yard gain. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, Washington 31, Buffalo 10. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. And you're watching the Super Bowl on CBS. Super Bowl 26. The Redskins lead it 31-10. Just barely distinguishable in the back of the booth.
Hey, he's right here, Pat.
Muhammad Ali.
He's the greatest. And he's signing autographs for kids there, and there's the champ. You know, when you say the champ, that's one guy, Muhammad Ali. Not only for boxing, but for everything. He made things for a lot of sports. And then that's not chef for the All-Madden team. It was eating coach.
George Foreman.
George Foreman's the eating coach.
Most of us don't really need a coach.
Muhammad Ali was the greatest.
Here's Rippon to throw. Incomplete. Intended for Biner and knocked down, and Bailey and Talley were the 2 Buffalo defenders. Field goal time for the Redskins.
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills had all year to think about this one. They missed the field goal, lost in the Super Bowl last year to the Giants. And this year was kind of a revenge year, and they get there and they just can't get into it. They just can't get it going.
Low Miller's field goal is good. That makes it 34-10. Favor of the Redskins. The Ice Palace live in Harriet Island. In St. Paul, Low Miller's kickoff bounces to Al Edwards. Edwards is bounced down at about the 24 by Raven Caldwell. (34-10), Redskins leading with 14:46 left to play.
Hey, you talk about valuable people. That coach right there that is facing his offensive line is Jim Hannafin. Remember, he was the head coach of the Cardinals, but one of the best offensive line coaches in football. And the players love him.
And he's put together some unit here with the Redskins, hasn't he? 1st First and 10 Buffalo. Kelly back to throw. Out of the pocket is Kelly, and down he goes by Fred Stokes at the 15. His 5th sack today.
Look at Matt Millen. He's there. He can't play. He's starting to give signals to the guys now. But Stokes is the outside guy. He's coming up the field. Then he's going to take an inside stunt, and he gets lost right in there. I don't think Kelly saw him.
Kelly back to throw again. And again, he's chased out of the pocket. Deep for Beebe, incomplete. Bounced off his leg. Don't forget, after the game, a special hour from CBS News. First, a 60 minutes exclusive interview with Governor and Mrs. Bill Clinton, and then, would you like to get rich quick? Well, you can find out how tonight on 48 Hours. You gonna watch that?
49 hours. 60 minutes and 48. I'm gonna watch it for 49 hours.
Kelly back to throw it, going deep. That has every chance of being intercepted, and is by the Redskins. That's Brad Edwards with the football. Edwards is down at about the Buffalo 34. That's the 5th turnover by the Bills. 14:06 left to play in Super Bowl 26, 34-10 Washington. Pat Summerall, John Madden. Look down at the Metrodome. Super Bowl 26, the Redskins 34-10 with 14 minutes, 6 seconds left to play. The fans on the sideline, and the Bills stunned by the Redskins.
I think they started off the game being stunned by the pressure that the Redskins put on them.
First and 10 at the 33. Irvin. Ricky Irvin. Out of bounds at about the 19-yard line, maybe the 20. Finally by Jackson. First down, Washington.
Yeah, when we went out and watched the Redskins practice the other day, I think it was the hardest hitting, most spirited practice that I've ever seen. And Ricky Irvin's in practice was making moves and runs like this all the time. And I thought this guy's going to be a big part of this game because he just looks like he's quicker than most of the other guys. And I thought he'd really like artificial turf. He says he doesn't. He said he played on grass, and he said he plays on grass at, in college and at Washington, and he hasn't played on that much artificial turf.
He does look quick. He gets another carry on first down. Not quite quick enough. Cornelius Bennett for a loss of 3.
What the Buffalo Bills are trying to do is move Bennett around to where the Redskins are going to run.
That's a very intelligent move.
Yeah, then they can't get away from him. If they put him in the middle like they are here, you can't run away from him. If they put him on the left side, which they had him, the whole time, then you can run away from him. If you put him in the middle, then wherever they run, he can get into pursuit.
Rippon and the Redskins now back in the huddle, taking their time. They used the no huddle until they got well in front. Monk in motion, and Rippon gets on the draw play to Irvin. Irvin's knocked down by Jeff Wright. No gain. It'll bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, we talked earlier about how you had to control the line of scrimmage. And I think that when the Redskin offense is out there, you have to give credit to that offensive line for having controlled it. To Lachey and to McKenzie and to Bostic and to Schlereth, to Jacoby, and then the tight ends too. Donnie Warren, Middleton, all those guys. That group there has really controlled the line of scrimmage today.
3rd and 13. They're at the 22-yard line. Rippon back to throw it. Batted up in the air and incomplete. Bruce Smith got the hand on it. And Lohmiller comes out again.
You watch again. Bruce Smith is going down. He was going, that was a heck of a play. He was going down to his left, and he just kept his right hand up there as he went by and knocked that ball down.
From 39 yards out, Chip Lohmiller with Jeff Rutledge holding. Good again. And the Redskins move further in front, 37-10 with 11.5 minutes left to play, 11:36. 11:36 left to play. The Metrodome from outside.
Well, this is the blimp. This is the blimp from the outside. Our blimp is flying over, and then we just boom, we just push it right through the roof, and then we tether it up there. So that blimp goes from outside, gives you the outside, and then boom, we tether it, then it gives you this shot right here. It's amazing.
It is a remarkable blimp. Edwards away from a couple, and down at about the 20 by Mayhew. Don't forget, coming up here on CBS, the Olympic Winter Games beginning Saturday, February the 8th, here on CBS. Right now, you're watching the Super Bowl on CBS, and the Redskins dominating so far 37-10. The Olympics to come later.
I can't wait to see that downhill skiing. I think those guys that downhill ski and ski jump, you know, you go boom and you go flying off in the air, they're the same guys that play special teams.
Kelly's going to take off, and Kelly slides at about the 30, maybe the 31. That had to hurt a little bit. Mayhew knocked Kelly down.
We knew the #1 objective of the Redskin defense was to knock Kelly down. And they have done that all day.
And he's stunned a little bit right now as Frank Wright warms up.
Yeah, he's out on his feet. You watch him. He's looking there. That was good coverage, pretty good protection. Now he goes and he pumps the ball there. Then he's looking back and see if they're going to catch up with him. He goes to slide, and it looks like he just got a helmet on the head.
And his head popped into the artificial turf.
And I think that's what knocked him out. He's trying to stay in there. He's fighting with them. They're trying to grab him and take him out, and he's saying, no, he won't come out.
And they're bringing him out.
Well, now they're taking him out.
The Redskins have gotten 20 points off turnovers. In this game, Kelly does have to come out. Wright is taking his place.
Yeah, that's been the thing, and the Redskin defense has caused those turnovers, and it's not only the front four, it's the front four and the linebackers, and the secondary is hit like I've never seen a Redskin secondary hit.
2nd and 1. That's Thurman Thomas. A flag on the play. Here comes Kelly back. Wilbur Marshall. Let's see what happened. A penalty marker on the play. Wilbur Marshall indicating. Let's see what happened to Kelly.
Well, holding number 67, offense. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Holding against the Bills, still 2nd down. But now it's 11.
Yeah, when you know it's a bad day for the Buffalo Bills when their leading rusher is Jim Kelly. He's rushed for 16 yards. And you know, part of the thing we talked about controlling the line of scrimmage was not only pass protection and not getting Kelly hit, but also running the ball. Thurman Thomas only gained 10 yards.
Kelly is hit again. The pass is incomplete. Flag on the play. Lofton was the intended receiver, hit by Alvoid Mays. And the penalty marker comes down.
Yeah, and they're calling it on this end because that's what they've been doing all day. If you said, what did the game go like? Just like that play where they knocked Kelly down on one end and they knocked the receiver down on the other end. It's always nice to see an official wear glasses.
There was a time That didn't
Personal
happen.
foul on number 20. Defense after the incompleted pass. 15-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
First down, that's against Alvoid Mays. Darrell Green has never returned. Here's the hit that caused the penalty.
Yeah, well, the ball was through Lofton's hands and away.
Now Darrell Green is back as the Redskins go with a lot of defensive backs. Thomas shakes away from one tackler. Wilbur Marshall made sure he stayed down. He only got 4 yards. That's the inside of the Redskin locker room. And those jerseys say champions.
Well, it'd be embarrassing if you lost and someone had to go in and collect all that stuff before the players that were mad got there.
Wouldn't it, though? Second down. Kelly back to throw it. Again, forced out of the pocket. Kelly gets it to Beebe. Run out of bounds by Wilbur Marshall.
Alvoid Mays has really played well because the Redskins have been using 3 corners. They use Mays and Mayhew and the outside guys, and then Darrell Green has been playing the slot. He's been playing against Andre Reed, so they've been playing nickel just about this whole game.
Third and about a yard. The Bills at their own 45. The Redskins leading 37-10 with 9:22 left to play. Clock continues to run down. The handoff to Thurman Thomas. First down, Buffalo, as he jumped for 3.
You know, you think of the Redskins and the job that Joe Gibbs has done in the Super Bowls, and a lot of teams, you know, like you think of the 49ers, and Joe Montana was a quarterback for all their Super Bowls. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the quarterback was Terry Bradshaw, and I think of Bob Greasy with Miami, when, you know, teams would win multiple Super Bowls, but Joe Gibbs has won multiple Super Bowls with multiple quarterbacks.
Pass is caught by Lofton. Lofton herded out of bounds by Terry Hogue. By a gain of 18. There the quarterbacks starting the Super Bowls under Joe Gibbs. Rippon, this one, Doug Williams. They beat Denver. Theismann twice.
And that's what Joe Gibbs was. I remember saying before that he said every time we'd play the 49ers, there was Montana, Cunningham was in Philadelphia, Sims was in New York. He said, I always had to play with a different quarterback.
Kelly overthrew Lofton. The ball just really took off.
Well, I think it's been doing that on him all day, and I'm not sure. I mean, this is a flat field. You know, a lot of fields have a crown, and quarterbacks will have trouble with a crown field. This is a completely flat field, and I think that he's just, you know, squeezing the ball a little too hard.
The field that they practiced on throughout the week had a crown in the middle of it, a big one.
Yeah, and that is different from what they're playing on.
Here's Kelly. Gets it outside to Edwards. That's enough for a first down. Mays.
You know, part of it is the crown, and part of it is the rush that you have to deal with, because you do have to throw that up and around a rush, too.
Tim Johnson, who's had a busy day and a long day, facing that hurry-up Buffalo offense. Needed to take a breather. His place taken by Wilson. Kelly back again to throw it. And again out of the pocket, he dumps it off to Thurman Thomas. Thomas inside the 20 to about the 17. Mayhew made the stop.
Now you look at Rippon smiling there, and you wonder why Kelly isn't going to be smiling, or why he's going to have a headache tomorrow. Look at this. Sacked 5 times, hurried 13, knocked down 10, 2 batted balls, 4 interceptions. Whatever could happen bad, it did happen bad.
Kelly back to throw. In the corner to Lofton, incomplete, and no flag. Danny Copeland over with Lofton.
They're still working on Tim Johnson there. They're just feeding him a little water. Yeah, I said that Martin Mayhew was one of the underrated players on that defense of the Redskins. This guy here, Tim Johnson, is also one of the underrated defensive players.
He needed a breather.
They're just trying to cool him down. He overheated.
Third down, 7:11 left to play. Kelly to throw it. Incomplete. Intended for Andre Reed. Darrell Green got there just as the ball did and batted it away.
Well, Darrell Green has been on Andre Reed the whole time. Richie Pettibone picks one guy that he wants to take away, and he puts Darrell Green on that guy all day, and that was Andre Reed. Then what he can do is he can double with his other guys if he knows that Darrell Green can take one guy by himself, which he always does.
No field goal. Pass complete to Davis. That's enough for Buffalo first down. He's taken down by Wilbur Marshall. Wilbur's had a busy day.
I think Wilbur's had a great day, especially in that first half. Look, they see themselves on television. They all do the same thing, don't they? Whether they're young ones or old ones, when they see a camera, they all smile and wave.
Something about that. Here's Kelly to throw it again. Up the middle. To Davis. 8-yard gain. Second down and about 2. Maybe 1. At about the 2.
This is an audible. When he says easy, that means audible.
Kelly back to throw. Incomplete in the end zone. Intended for Beebe. Over his head.
These defensive backs have been all over these receivers all day. This has to be frustrating for, the Buffalo Bills. That you look all year to get back, to get revenge, and then something like this happens to you. And then to the whole AFC. It gets where, why can't the AFC beat the NFC? Why does the NFC dominate? And I don't think there's a single answer.
I don't either. What is it now? 9 out of the last 10?
Yeah, and one of the things is, bigger, stronger, physical, more running games, but I don't know that that's true in this game.
6:04 left to play. The Redskins on top 37-10. Timeout Washington.
Or be Mark Rippon. Mark Rippon only signed a 1-year contract. He may get rich.
Kelly. Touchdown, Buffalo. Metzelaars from Kelly.
And again, Kelly took a beating on that one. Charles Mann was right there with him. Charles Mann hit him just as he threw the ball. Watch it, he's going to go a little roll here. He's going to roll right into number 71. Watch, right there is Mann hitting him just as he threw that one. You talk about a guy who's going to have to take some aspirin tomorrow. That's Jim Kelly. I mean, he has been hit every way but loose.
He's really
throw that elbow, though.
The extra point by Norwood is good. 37-17. Left to play. The Bills took 15 plays to go 79 yards to get that touchdown from Kelly to Metzelaars.
Look at that kid there, this kid right there. He's thinking, what the heck? I thought this Super Bowl was supposed to be close. It was supposed to be this. It was supposed to be that. He's sitting right behind Tony Bennett, and he looks bored. He said, how can you come to a Super Bowl and be bored?
There's a guy's not bored.
There's Tony Bennett
Tony
right
Bennett.
there. But this kid behind him looks like he's thinking, what the heck? There has to be more to it than this. My dad told me it was a Super Bowl. Tickets are $150 a piece. This guy looks
costs a lot to be bored.
A lot of these guys are bored. Hey, it's a Super Bowl. Super Bowl 26. Minnesota, Winter Wonderland.
You would think onside kick.
Yeah, one would think that this would be a...
This is Norwood.
time for it. Mark Schlereth saying we're number one. Met his dad yesterday.
Yeah.
His dad said, hey, I like it when you call him Stinky. It's his nickname.
I was trying to figure out why he liked that.
I don't know. I mean, if your dad and you're calling the kid Stinky, it's probably because it's true. The shift is on.
Kelso will start him. He's got every chance to work. The Bills think it did. Bailey. The Bills have it. Bailey came up with it.
Hey, one thing Norwood did is he drives that thing in here. Watch it here. Everyone shifts over to the left side. You know he's going to kick it that way. Kelso comes, puts both hands up. Go, he says. They all go. Norwood gets that ball, gets a good hop on it. Someone made a big jump up, knocked the ball, and Bailey ends up with it.
First down, Buffalo. They recovered their own kick. First down.
First down, Buffalo. Right at midfield. Super Bowl 26 was produced by Robert D. Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The Super Bowl today was produced by Eric Mann, directed by Duke Struck. Senior producer of CBS Sports is Ed Gorin, and the executive producer is Ted Shaker. Joe Gibbs is a producer also.
Well, and he's arguing now that did the ball go 10 yards?
Field is being reviewed by instant replay.
Yeah, he hit it right over. He came down after the 10-yard mark, so it did go. The thing they're reviewing is, did the onside kick go 10 yards? It did go 10 yards. Now, Joe Gibbs called timeout on that play, Pat, and I think that he wanted to get a review, and that's why he took the timeout. They're looking to see where he touches it. He's up in the air. Now, we can stop it right there. Then you got a tough one right there. I mean, he touches it. I don't know. This is where you need a perpendicular horizontal.
After further review, the play stands. First down, Buffalo.
First down, Buffalo. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. And this CBS telecast is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Washington Redskins, and the Buffalo Bills, and the National Football League is prohibited. First down, Buffalo at midfield.
Yeah, what they said in the replay booth, Cal Lepore, again being the replay director, said that it was inconclusive because he didn't have one of those T-squares.
I'd be leery of an official with a T-square.
I think a good official always carries a T-square and has a holster for it.
Kelly gets it to Davis. Davis gets it to about the 37 of the Redskins before Darrell Green wrestles him to the ground after a gain of 13, and they hurry up. 37-17 Redskins, 5.5 minutes now left to play.
But Darrell Green there, remember, that's the way he got hurt trying to tackle Barry Sanders in the championship game.
Kelly incomplete. Andre Reed, the intended receiver.
Well, and again, Darrell Green has been on Andre Reed all day. Like we said before, they put him on one of their receivers or their best receivers, then they can double all the guys.
Second down and 10, Buffalo at the Redskin 38. Kelly throwing on every down. Here comes the blitz. Kelly is hit again. Incomplete. Wilbur Marshall. You know, you start thinking about most valuable players. You think about Gary Clark. You think about Mark Rippon. But you also have to think about the guy on defense, number 58.
Yeah, I think if there's been a guy that has really stood out on defense, I think this Redskin defense as a team has played well. And then if you had to pick an individual within that team, I would pick Wilbur Marshall because he has been all over the field.
Kelly to throw. Lofton incomplete. Flag on the play. Alvoid Mays hit Lofton as the ball arrived.
You know, and there are things, too, you know, that great players play great in big games.
Pass interference, number 20, defense.
As you were saying yesterday,
down.
some people like it. They like the pressure of big games.
I know, and you get the feeling that Wilbur Marshall is one of those guys. I get the feeling today that Mark Rippon is one of those guys. I know Gary Clark is one of those guys. Art Monk is one of those guys.
Bad snap from center, got away from Kelly. He made the recovery and just threw it away.
Darrell Green is one of those guys. You know, as Mark Rippon, you know, before the game and during the week was saying, Leslie Visser talked about it in the pregame show, that his high school coach said the definition of pressure is being able to prove yourself, a chance to prove yourself.
In big games.
And if that's the definition, there's a bunch of guys out there that know how to handle pressure.
That's a pretty good group you put together.
They all have one thing in common.
Kelly to Davis. On a quick draw, Davis to about the 6. Stopped by Wilbur Marshall. But a 13-yard pickup. 4:50 left to play. The Bills at the Redskin door again.
Look at Joe Gibbs. He's not going to start to celebrate yet. He knows better than that.
Again, Davis to the 4. Stopped by Jumpy Geathers. There's Ted Marchibroda, who's the designer of the Buffalo offense. A lot of speculation about him perhaps being a new head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, there's talk that, you know, he was, of course, one time the head coach of the Baltimore Colts, and there's talk that he could go back as a head coach of the Indianapolis Colts after this game.
He was telling me before the game, he said it's such a great place to work, Buffalo. I mean, with the Bills, this organization, he said you love to go to work. Davis was the intended receiver, incomplete. But I think if the chance did arise, not to fire anybody or get rid of anybody, I think he'd take it.
Yeah, and I agree with you that, and you know, and that very well could happen. And to me, the enigma is when you talk about assistant coaches and so many jobs open, is still why Richie Pettibone, who every time we watch him, always tends to out defense someone,
really
never gets a chance to be a head coach.
Here's Kelly. Incomplete. Metzelaar is the intended receiver. 4th down now.
As we're talking about, you know, Joe Gibbs and the job that he's done and the different quarterbacks and different guys, Richie Pettibone, as the assistant head coach and in charge of the defense, has also done it with a lot of different guys.
There goes Riley McKenzie, who had an outstanding day, as did the whole Redskin offensive line. Here's Kelly back to throw again. In the end zone, touchdown, Don Beebe from 4 yards away. Kelly, boy, what a beating he's taken today.
And he is a competitor. He has hung in there and taken it all day and kept fighting these guys, but it's been an uphill battle. It started out this way for him. The Redskins were going to knock him down. Richie Pettibone and the Redskins believe you got to knock quarterbacks down. They did it in the beginning. They did it at the end. And he still hit that one.
The problem with Riley McKenzie was stomach cramps. So as you pointed out a long time ago, it's hot down there. Extra point is good by Norwood. And I wonder if they can make another onside kick work.
Well, you know one thing, they're going to try another onside kick. Watch what happens. Those guys look like two guys that are playing in a sandbox.
Yeah.
Remember I used to wrestle in the sandbox?
Two guys in Hawaii or something.
Down. Yeah. Or like the last thing before you go to bed, before you turn out the light, the last joke, and boom, you turn out the light.
And again, Norwood will be the kicker. You know, you talk about people that do good jobs in big games and stuff like that. How about the guy that's in charge of taking care of the field, who has been for years and years, was for years and years in Kansas City, and every Super Bowl, George Toma.
Well, George Toma, you know, was out here. We did the All Madden team from here over a week ago, and he was out here dyeing this field. They had, like, he put like 5. There's George Toma right there, right here. In fact, I'll circle old George. He'll be happy to do that. But what they do is they dyed this field. The football field is dyed, and the end zones are painted. And every other 5 yards had 5 coats, and the others had 3.
Onside kick again, and again they have a chance. Scramble is on. Blowing a lot of whistles.
Some of the coaches want to jump in there. Look, Wayne Severe's the special teams coach. He has his head in there. Don Bro's jumping in there. Joe Gibbs is jumping in there. Richie Pettibone is jumping in there.
Look at Richie.
Richie's holster's a little low. Richie got so much stuff hanging on him, that's gonna pants him. There he goes. He's picking it up. Good. He looks a lot better. Look, he got stuff hanging. Look, he's going to lead the league in stuff hanging from him.
That's a heavy game plan.
Well, he got the game plan in the front, and then he got stuff hanging on the side. He has combinations up in there.
Heavy combination.
It's hard to keep your pants up with all those combinations.
Ricky Irvins behind Rippon. Redskins 37-24. That's Irvins. Irvins down inside the Buffalo 30 before he's tripped up. A 22-yard run by Ricky Irvins.
Yeah, you look at this Buffalo Bills sideline, and you know what they're thinking, that, as Jim Kelly said last year, the tough thing about it is it's the last game, so you have the whole off season to think about it. He said you lose, and it takes like 5 months before it goes away.
And maybe longer when it's 2 years in a row.
And I've always said the biggest gap in sports is between the winner of the Super Bowl and the loser of the Super Bowl.
First down, Redskins. Irvins again. Knocked down after a gain of a couple by Cornelius Bennett. And a timeout, Buffalo, with 2:54 left. And the Bills have 2 more timeouts. The Redskins are out of theirs. Don't forget, coming up, the post-game show, the presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy. Locker room interviews, both locker rooms. Leslie Visser and Pat O'Brien will be down.
And of course, Jack Kent Cook will be the owner of the Redskins, will be in the locker room to accept that, along with Joe Gibbs.
Well, you accepted one of those one time. What did it feel like?
Well, they took the napkin off of it, and it was the greatest thrill of my life. I think that, you know, that this is the biggest day in these people's life. And when you have that trophy, and then you have that win and that word champion and that ring, it's something that they can never take away from you.
And that name on there is cherished as well, Lombardi.
The greatest.
Irvins again around the corner. Down to about the 21, about a yard shy of a first down, stopped by Bailey and Kelso.
There's Andre Reed. That, you know, that has to bother him. Those fans there. They're left over from last week. They didn't pay to get in. They were here last week.
Well, you talk about big plays. I guess you think when he threw his helmet down just before the half and they penalized him 15 yards and took him out of field goal range, that sort of changed complexion of the entire afternoon and evening. Third down, Redskins with 2:38 left to play, and Washington leading 37-24.
Jumpy Gathers there is taking congratulations, but it's hard to when you're that tired. Sometimes you want it, you know you want a championship, and you're just thinking, just hold on a minute.
There's Wilbur Marshall. He's had a busy day.
Well, he's had 8 tackles, 3 assists, a sack, forced some fumbles. He's done whatever you had to do today. Jim Kelly gave it everything he had, but he just got knocked down too many times.
3rd and 2. Irvins again. First down, Redskins.
There's Eric Williams saying we're number 1. Also, when the Redskins were introduced today, they came out with thumbs up for Mike Utley. You remember Mike Utley? Eric Williams played with Mike Utley at Detroit. Mark Rippon played with him at Washington State.
They're going to measure for this to see if they did get the first down. John, thousands of U.S. sailors at sea in the Mediterranean have been viewing this telecast live as part of a test conducted by the Navy Broadcasting Service and COMSAT. The first time U.S. Navy ships will view a live television event while it's underway. There are 7 ships participating in the test: the USS America, the Concorde, the Eisenhower, Incheon, the USS Monterey, the USS Normandy, and the Sierra.
Well, it's in the 4th quarter, so we must know if the test worked or not.
I guess it did.
See, what I don't know is if they were moving, if those ships were moving. Because if they were stationary, you can bounce off a satellite, I think. If they're moving, I think that's tough.
Those shots, John, that we've been looking at this afternoon, the outside of the Metrodome, courtesy of the CRM group. And they have been, spectacular. And so has this team been spectacular. Redskins leading 37-24, 2 minutes and 6 seconds remain.
Darrell Green played so hard, he only has 1 glove on.
2-minute warning. First down, Redskins at the Buffalo 19. Washington up 37-24. Super Bowl 26 winding down. The Redskins 37, Buffalo 24. 2 minutes left. Pat Summerall here with John Madden in Minneapolis. Somehow it's not easy to say it's hot inside. When you walk outside, it just soaks through you.
I know it, but they've done such a great job here in Minneapolis and of putting this whole thing on.
All the timeouts are gone. 1:56 left. Charles Mann had another big day.
Joe Gibbs is finally smiling. He's been more relaxed and enjoyed this Super Bowl more than any time I've seen him.
Somebody asked him what he wanted to do, and he said he wanted to run in a marathon and build a house, win a Super Bowl. What else did he say?
I don't know. You wonder how long that he's going to be in this.
Of course, he's a race car enthusiast. That in tribute to Mike Utley, the thumbs up sign.
Everyone's in it together. You go out and you compete and you play. But in the end, everyone is together.
That was Ernest Biner. There's Darrell Green, who had the interception. Now they're passing out the shirts to the champions.
Yeah, one thing nice about being young, being a kid, they don't know. They're just happy to be there in the sideline with their daddies.
And hope someday they'll play. There are those shots outside from the helicopter. Again, courtesy of the CRM group. The Redskins just got on top and wore them down.
Well, they controlled the line of scrimmage. They controlled it on defense. They mixed it up. They went after him. They blitzed him. They knocked him down. And they controlled it on offense. Mark Rypien was close to perfect.
Less than a minute. All you have to do is look at the pictures. You know where the championship trophy belongs.
They're starting to undress and put on shirts and clothes down there. The other side's not.
Rypien just kneels, and that is probably the last play of Super Bowl 26. An elated bunch of Washington Redskins and a disappointed Marv Levy. Congratulations, Joe Gibbs and the Washington Redskins.
And there's no higher feeling in sports than right now than winning the Super Bowl. There's no lower feeling than losing the Super Bowl.
Gibbs being swarmed on by the photographers. They're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to get to Gibbs.
Yeah, but at least they're not going to short arm it. They got some long arms. Gary Clark short-armed at the championship game. These guys are going to get him. Oh. I don't think the game's over, Pat.
They had to stop and hug each other.
Yeah, the referee, I think Jerry Martinwright called them back and said, you still got to play.
13 seconds left. Rypien.
But they're going to get him with that bucket this time, and they're not going to come up short either, I bet. If you're going to pour the bucket, you got to get his glasses and his face, or it doesn't count. Look at that security guy there. He can't stop the bucket throw.
Clock's still running.
They got him! They got him! They got it over the collar. You did it! You did it! I'll tell you, they don't...
We got the ring also. 36 grand, baby. I feel good my second year. Hey, Russ, help the Platinum in Louisiana. Love you.
Now they have reset the clock now back to 25 seconds.
That's a lot the Redskins got. They got the bucket, they got the ring, they got the money. That's getting the whole banana.
Gibbs got the bucket on his head.
McKenzie was wheeled out.
Back.
And he came back. He said he's not going to miss that celebration.
Got over those stomach cramps. Kelly is through. Reich's the quarterback. Outside of Davis. Davis hammers away, and the clock will keep running. And again, Wilbur Marshall made the stop. That should do it. The Redskins are the world champions. Once again, the final score of Super Bowl 26 is Washington 37, Buffalo 24. Stay tuned for the Super Bowl Today postgame show and the presentation of Vince Lombardi's trophy. You're watching CBS Sports coverage of Super Bowl 26.
Not hard to tell who the winners are, is it? Welcome back to the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, everyone. Head coach Joe Gibbs and his Washington Redskins celebrating a Super Bowl victory here in Super Bowl number 26. 37-24 is the final score, and Boy, we told you all week long Joe Gibbs was very loose and very happy, and, well, he's got reason to be so now. And, Terry, it's a funny thing. The Buffalo Bills got the first break of the game today when the Redskins had a touchdown reversed.
You know, I thought that play right at the 4.5 when Beebe dropped the touchdown pass, that brings the game back to 17-7. It takes away the pressure of the Bills going into the second half, Greg, to have to score to get back in the football game. They go in 17-0, and they were uptight all day long. It comes back to this. I've always said in games like this, stars have to play like stars. Smith and those guys didn't play like stars. Then you wonder, maybe the squabbling by Smith and Beebe, maybe that has something to do with it. But this team wasn't ready to play, or maybe just wanted it too badly today.
You were twice the Super Bowl most valuable player. We were looking at the most valuable player of Super Bowl 26, Mark Rippon, who had an outstanding day, and of course his contract is up. How would you like to be his agent to negotiate with Jack?
Way to roll the dice, huh?
After the game, it's a special hour from CBS News. First, a 60-minute exclusive interview with Governor and Mrs. Bill Clinton. Then, would you like to get rich quick? Find out how on 48 Hours tonight. We'll take a time out here, and then when we come back, we will have the presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy to the Washington Redskins. We'll join Leslie Visser in the Washington Redskins locker room in just a moment. With the Washington victory over Buffalo, the NFC has won its 8th straight Super Bowl, and Joe Gibbs his 3rd Super Bowl title with his 3rd quarterback. Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, and now Mark Rippon. And let's take you downstairs to the Washington Redskins locker room. And here's Leslie Visser. Leslie.
Greg, it truly is hail to the Redskins as they've delivered their 3rd title in 10 years to the nation's capital. It's a jubilous scene in here, high spirits, and I'd like to introduce you to some of the folks who helped make this possible. First, General Manager Charlie Casserly, who deserves an A for his Plan B acquisitions. Fabled owner, Mr. Jack Kent Cook. A man undoubtedly headed for the Hall of Fame, Coach Joe Gibbs. And the commissioner of the NFL, Paul Tagliabue, who will present the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
Jack, we congratulate you on behalf of the league and you and your outstanding organization for a marvelous victory today and a marvelous season. And Joe, this is your 3rd Super Bowl victory for the Redskins in a decade under your leadership, and that's an achievement that's getting close to the top of the list. So we congratulate the Redskins on an outstanding season and a great Super Bowl 26.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's a great honor to accept this because I have so much pride in our head coach, his coaching staff, the wonderful band of players that he's assembled, our head office, and most of all, the best bloody fans on the face of the earth, Redskin fans. I thank you very, very much, Paul.
Congratulations to you, Mr. Cook. Joe, many people had trouble solving the riddle of the no huddle. How were you able to do it today?
Well, it was just, I think our defensive guys did a great job. Richie, Torgy, Peck, and Emmett, and the players had a good plan, and we gave them a lot of looks, and we tried to do a lot of things, and I think it helped.
You're now the first coach to win 3 Super Bowl titles with 3 different quarterbacks. How would you distinguish each one?
Well, I think they were all very different. They're all with themselves. I was very fortunate to have Joe Theismann when I first came here. Doug Williams, a class act, big, strong guy, and Rip is a young one that's taken us there. I just want to say a thanks to our owner, our general manager, Charlie Casserly, all the work behind the scenes, and everybody in the front office. But, hey, those 3 guys we've had good quarterbacks.
This is your 3rd title in 10 years. Do you feel fulfilled, or might this be enough?
I really, right now, I feel very humble, I guess, because I realize I get a lot of credit for a lot of things I really don't do. And the Lord's blessed me, like I said, with a great situation. And I'm just thankful for that and thankful for him to let me do this.
Congratulations to you, Joe. And we'll have more from the Redskins after this word from your local stations.
Now, could we leave?